abides. But trying to stand before the Lion of Judah, the Ancient of Days, is a certain type of audacity, right? That Satan tried to have. And you guys know how that went. Jesus himself kicked him out of heaven and he felt like lightning. So we're about to see Central Dawah go from here to being humbled by the Holy Spirit by the time this conversation finishes. So my opponent, it's usually they're going to try to appeal to John 17 verse 3 and say that the only true God is the Father. But he would also have to deal with John 17 verse 5, where Jesus says that he shares the same glory with the Father in the very beginning. He will also appeal to my Father is greater than I, something Jesus says in his incarnated states, which can easily be dismantled by Philippians 2, which teaches that Jesus is God, but took on the form of man by being obedient, meaning he lowered himself, making the Father greater than the state Jesus was in, not his divinity. Okay? The next one, he will appeal to agency, saying God gives Jesus authority. But we'll forget that according to Colossians, it says by the hands of Jesus, right? Everything was created by Jesus, through Jesus, and for Jesus. And it says he is before all things, showing that he owns all things. This is the problem. It's either it's going to be shirk, that a creation can own all things with God, or Jesus would have to be God from the very beginning. He will also appeal to Mark 2:28, where the Son, he'll also appeal to scriptures such as, let's say, the Father, I cannot do anything by myself but through the Father. While also Jesus also says that him and the Father are one. So meaning that him and the Father, the ability that the Father has, Jesus has also, which a creation cannot have. Jesus says in Mark 2:28, the Son of Man is the Lord of the Sabbath. In Genesis, each day represents creation. God stopped his work on the seventh day, meaning since we have remained in the Sabbath day, although outside his presence because of sin, if God himself did not leave the Sabbath day, and he himself still holds the title of the Sabbath day, then Jesus being the Lord of the Sabbath day, he would have to be God. Or here's another contradiction. John 1:1-3 says the word is God. The word is described as the logos, the reasoning, the mind of God. We know Jesus is the word according to 1 John 5 verse 7, Revelation 19:13, and 1 John 1 verse 1. Right? It calls him God himself. If my opponent denies that the memra word of God is God himself, then he creates a brainless God who creates creation, he's creating power without the very means he uses to create his created power. Contradiction. Colossians 1:16-17 echoes John 1, making Jesus the creator of all things and the owner of all things. The creator cannot be created. If without Jesus nothing would be created, then Jesus must be eternal and uncreated. And we know the only one that's eternal and uncreated is God himself. 1 Corinthians 10:4 calls Jesus the rock. Okay? Isaiah 44 verse 8 says there is no rock but God. Premise 1, only Yahweh is the rock. Premise 2, the rock is Jesus. Conclusion, Jesus is Yahweh. And we know Yahweh is the name of God. Psalms 95:7-8 calls Israel the sheep of God's hands and warns them to listen to his voice. Jesus echoes this in John 10:27, same voice, same shepherd, same God. Zechariah 2 verse 8, Yahweh says, Yahweh of hosts has sent me. Yahweh sends Yahweh? Okay. Jesus declares he is sent in the name of his Father, the same language used in Exodus 23:20-21, where the angel of the Lord is sent in God's name, called Yahweh, worshipped, and the forgiver of sins. According to Mark 2 verse 7, only God forgives sins, only God receives worship, only God is the judge. Yet we have multiple scriptures where Jesus is worshipped, given authority, where he's the forgiver of sins, as it says the Father says that the Son has all authority to judge over man, right? And then we also have Jesus himself coming and in the name of his Father. We also have Psalms 49 verse 7 says, no man can ransom another. And Psalms 49:15 says, God himself will ransom. Well, according to Mark 10:45, Jesus says the Son of Man comes to ransom. Okay, again, so either Jesus is a false prophet, which we know he would not admit to, or he is good, perfect, and therefore God, according to Mark 10:18. Isaiah 42 verse 8 says, my glory will not be given to another. Yet Jesus asked the Father, John 17 verse 5, right? To share the glory with the Father, the same glory the Father had before the world was. Either Jesus is God or God breaks his own commands. Here we also go over to the church fathers, right? My opponent will pretend that Christians invented the divinity of Christ, but the earliest Christians before Islam, before councils, before Rome was Christian, all declared Jesus is God. Ignatius of Antioch says, Jesus Christ, our God. Justin Martyr said, the Father of the universe has a son who is even God. Hippolytus also says, the Logos is God, being the substance of God. Titian says, we do not speak foolery. We ain't a fool. When we say God was born as man, then we have Gregory, the wonder worker. There is one Lord, the Father of the living word, who is his substance, wisdom, and power, and eternal image. There is one Lord, only of only, God of God, image and likeness of deity, efficient word, wisdom. Okay? Meaning that the Son in which he begot is also God. So we come here. Islam appears 600 years later. Islam comes 6 centuries after Jesus, 6 centuries after the apostles, 6 centuries after eyewitnesses, 6 centuries after early church. No manuscript, no witness, no prophets, prophets of Israel, no disciple, no apostle. 600 years of silence. And then we have somebody who comes from a cave who tries to dismantle everything that God himself has built. I don't think so. And the Quran, written 600 years later, tries to correct people who walked with Jesus, but gets their script wrong, gets Jewish history wrong, gets Christian theology wrong, and contradicts historical facts. It's like someone in, 2025 coming and saying that everything that happened in the first century didn't exist. Oh, wait, they're called Muslims. Okay. Anyways, closing statement. The scripture declares Jesus is God. The prophets declare Jesus is God. The apostles declare Jesus is God. The Father declares Jesus is God. The Spirit declares Jesus is God. The church fathers declares Jesus is God. And history affirms Jesus is God. Okay? So what does that make Jesus? The Word, the Rock, the Lord of the Sabbath, the ransom, the one who saves, something that's given to only God. Jesus is glory. Jesus is Yahweh. Jesus is the Lion of Judah. Jesus is the roots of David, meaning he's the cause. According to Revelation, when Jesus stands before the throne of God, what does it say? He sits on God's throne, number one. And number two, he receives worship from the angels. So if Jesus receives worship, why the heck would my opponent here try to argue against something that the Bible itself has clearly described? We also have, according to the Islam as well, Islam says if Allah has a son, that they would have to be the first to worship. So we know this is not a system that even Islam is against. Islam knows clearly, if it's true that Allah has a son, then that means his son would have to be God in order for him to receive worship. Well, ain't that funny? Because the Son of God, according to the Bible, also has to be God. So if Islam knows, then why would you be going against the very deity and very thing that's been mentioned inside of the Bible? It don't make no sense. But I'm gonna stop there. I didn't need the whole 15. This was quick, but yeah, just wanted to present that. And yeah, I start my time.
All right. Central, you ready?
Wait, hold on. Before you start that time, let me just say to the chat real quick. I do not want to turn the chat off, but you guys, Christians and Muslims, man, y'all need to act right, dude. Like, stop blaspheming, stop disrespecting in the comments. And I'm talking to Christians. I'm not even talking to Muslims. Like, Muslims ain't really saying a whole lot down there. So it's the Christians. Please stop before we mute you for the rest of the lot.
Darren, can you give one Muslim mod in the chat? Just one?
Y'all be taking advantage, bro, when I be doing that. Y'all be blocking.
I mean, it's only fair, bro.
I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind if I can make somebody mod. Who do you want to be mod, bro? But I have to take it away after the debate.
Yeah, that's fine. That's completely fine.
Who do you want to be mod, man?
I'll pick someone fair. The Muslim apologetic. Are you gonna be here?
Yeah, he's supposed to be helping me anyway. Yeah, Muslim apologetic supposed to be helping me with the debate anyway.
Barakallah fik. May Allah bless you. May Allah reward you.
Where's he at? I just saw his name in there.
If he's gonna be here for, I just need some.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
okay,
you. If
Muslim.
he's
All
gonna be
right,
here,
that's
I mean, if he's gonna be
yeah.
here,
He's
me and him were
and
gonna be
he's fair.
working
He's
anyway.
cool.
I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So we're gonna all right, Muslim apologetic. Actually, it was supposed to be me and Brazilian. I'm sorry, but Muslim, I'm cool with him too. So,
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
and don't take advantage, man. Just mute disrespect and blasphemy only. We're just trying to keep control of the live, my brother. All right, I gotta figure out who to drop. But go ahead. You guys get started. I'm gonna figure out how that. I'm gonna figure out how that.
All right, Central, you ready? Oops, hold on.
Yeah, you can start my time in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, first and foremost, guys, this is a classical, what you would call machine gun tactic. This is a classical, what you would call reading into the text, which is exactly what she did. Duran, can you just mute because there's an echo?
Oh,
What she did is she went to the New Testament, said, Jesus is a rock, only Yahweh is a rock. Allahu Akbar, Jesus is God. Like, what we doing here, man? And yes, you're absolutely right. I will stay with classical verses that Muslims have been bringing. For example, John chapter 17, verse 3. This is eternal life, that they know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent. According to the leading Catholic scholar, Raymond Brown, in his Anchor Bible commentary, he says John 17:3 clearly distinguishes Jesus from the only true God. So if the Father alone is the only true God, then Jesus cannot be the same God. Mark 10:18, why do you call me good? No one is good except God alone. Cambridge Bible Commentary says Jesus here refuses divine status. Again, guys, this isn't Islamic commentary. This isn't the Salaf commentary. This is Christian commentary. The Cambridge Bible, which is a highly respected commentary on the Bible, it says Jesus here refused divine status. Debate over. According to the Gospel of John, Jesus has a God. So unless you want to say there's 2 Yahwehs, you would have to explain this mumbo jumbo here, because Jesus says that the Father is my God, is his God. He says, I ascend to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God. F.F. Bruce, leading Christian commentator, he says, or scholar, he says, Jesus calling the Father his God excludes the idea that he himself is God in the same sense. So Jesus cannot be the Almighty God, because God Almighty does not have a God above him. And according to the gospel, Jesus clearly does. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 7, it says he offered up prayers and supplications to the one who could save him. Jesus is offering prayers and supplications. God is praying to what? Tiger, does God pray to God? Or is God schizophrenic and pray to himself? According to Tertullian in Against Praxis, chapter 26, he says, he prays as a man to the Father who is greater than he. Tiger, God does not pray to God unless your God is schizophrenic, with all due respect. Again, Jesus cannot be God because he lacks divine attributes. For example, God is all-knowing. Jesus is not knowing of the hour. This is very basic Dawah 101 script stuff. Saint Cyril of Alexandria says, the Son as man does not know the hour. So if she tries to say the Greek word oiden can just mean it doesn't declare, you're going against church fathers that clearly say the Son as man does not know the hour. So if Jesus is God, then how can he not know what God knows? Also, you see, Jesus is subordinate. And she quoted the verses I would bring. So very good. Again, these verses are classical Dawah Ahmedidad Zakir Naik arguments that we still use because Christians have yet to refute them. Jesus in John 14:28 says the Father is greater than I. And even Athanasius, who you appealed to, the strongest Trinitarian defender at the Council of Nicaea, he says, quote, in his Orations Against the Arians, book 1, he says, the Son is less than the Father in respect to his humanity. A being who is less than God cannot be God. Tiger, this is common sense. Did the early Christians believe that Jesus was God? She said, the Gospels say he's God, the church fathers say he's God. Let's see what the church fathers say. Justin Martyr, 2nd century church father, 2nd century apologist, Dialogue with Trifle, chapter 127, he says, the Father alone is the only true God. So Jesus, not the Father. or I'm sorry, the Father alone, not Jesus. Origen, in the 3rd century, Contra Celsum, Book 8, he says the Father is greater than all. And you know what he does? You want to know what Origen does? He calls Jesus a second God. Not the God. He calls him a second God. So, Tiger, would you be willing to say that Jesus is a second God? Please confess to that. Tertullian, against Praxis, chapter 9, he says, the Father is the entire substance. The Son is a portion of the whole. So this is not co-equal, co-eternal, co-substantial. It is subordination, and it is not the Christian view that you hold to today. I mean, unless you want to tell us otherwise. So again, not the Salaf. This isn't the companions of the. This is Christian commentary. Let's look at modern scholarship, secular scholarship. James D.G. Dunn, world's leading New Testament scholar, he says, he says Jesus did not see himself as divine. Raymond Brown, leading Catholic scholar, says Jesus does not present, or I'm sorry, he says John does not present Jesus as equal to God. Again, these are not Muslims, these are Christians, world's top experts. The New Catholic Encyclopedia, the definitive Catholic reference work states, quote, the doctrine of the Trinity is not directly and immediately found in the scriptures. So if the Trinity is not in the Bible, why are Muslims expected to believe in it? I would like an answer to that. She quoted phrases such as John 1:1. According to Christian scholar C.H. Dodd, he explains that the word theos without the article means divine, not God himself. Church Father Origen says in his commentary on John 2:2, he says the word is a God, not the God. So even your own fathers say that this verse does not teach that Jesus is the Almighty. John 20:28, you try to quote where Jesus receives worship. F.F. Bruce rejects your interpretation. He says Thomas's words are not a metaphysical definition of Jesus' essence. Raymond Brown says this may express recognition of God's presence in Jesus, not a literal identity. So Christian scholarship acknowledged that Jesus had a presence of God in him, but he's not literally the identity of God. She went to Colossians chapter 2, verse 9. N.T. Wright, a major Christian, guys, notice I'm not interpreting verses the way that I want to interpret them. I'm giving references, sources, Christian scholars. N.T. Wright, a major Christian scholar, says, Paul does not mean Jesus is God himself, but rather God's presence is embodied in him. That is not the Trinity. That is divine representation. I expected her to go to like Isaiah 9:6, which would have been better for her than, I don't know why she didn't. Anyways, questions I'll pose to her. If Jesus is God, why does he worship God? Hebrews chapter 5, verse 7. If Jesus is God, why does he say the Father alone is the only true God? If Jesus is God, why does he say that he does not know the hour? Don't try to twist the Greek there either, because I'll quote church fathers that go against your interpretation of that Greek. If Jesus is God, why does Paul say God is the head of Christ? Is God the head of himself? Doesn't make any sense. That's 1 Corinthians 11:3. If Jesus is God, how can he have a God that is above him? If Jesus is God, why does the earliest Christians, Justin Martyr, Origen, Tertullian, deny equality? If Jesus is God, why did the church need 300? She tried to say, oh, Islam comes 600 years later. Your doctrine of the Trinity didn't develop until 325, 300 years. 300 years, your Christians were confused, trying to identify whether Jesus is God, is he the Son of God? They were confused on his identity. So why did the church need 325 years and a Roman emperor to define Trinity? So we can come to the conclusion here easily that using Christian scripture, Christian scholars, Christian commentaries, Christian church fathers, not only did we show that Jesus never claimed to be God, the Bible distinguishes Jesus from the only true God. Jesus lacks divine attributes like infinite knowledge. Jesus worships, submits to, and has a God. The earliest Christians rejected equality between Jesus and God. Modern scholars confirm Jesus was not denied divine. The Trinity is not found in the Bible. Therefore, the Christian claim Jesus is God collapses using their own evidence. So I'll address some of the points she made. She said John 17:15, she says, proves that Jesus shares the same divine glory as the Father. John 17:5 does not say that Jesus has the Father's glory, divine glory eternally. It says Jesus is asking the Father to give him glory, which proves he did not currently have it and therefore is not God. Even Christian scholars would admit this. For example, Raymond Brown, again, he says on his Gospel according to John, volume 2, page 748, he says Jesus' request to be glorified is not a claim to be equal with the Father. You got cooked on that. Your next argument was, let's see, she says, Colossians says that Jesus is before all things and knows all things. Otherwise, it would be shirk in the Muslim paradigm. That's a stupid claim to make. Because again, if Colossians is about the original creation, why does Paul say that Jesus is created, the firstborn of creation? Why does Paul say the Father alone is God? Why do scholars say this is about new creation? Why do the fathers admit the language sounds Aryan? Do you want the church father quotes? If you want, I'll give them to you. Just nod yes. For example, Athanasius and Contra Arianos, volume 2, 2.62, he says, Paul calls him firstborn of all creation, which in itself denotes the created order. You got cooked on that. Your other argument was the Sabbath thing. You said something about the Sabbath. Oh, Jesus is the Lord of the Sabbath. So no problem. If the Sabbath is made for people and Jesus is Lord of people in terms of authority, then it would follow that Jesus would also be Lord of the Sabbath for the benefit of the people. The context also supports this. From verse 23 onwards, it states that the disciples were starving, so Jesus allowed them to eat grains despite it being Sabbath, which shows he had authority over it in virtue of being the Messiah sent by God. The biggest blunder she made, and this is what I said in the very beginning. I said, guys, this is classical reading into the text. All she did is quote verses in the New Testament, interpret them the way she wanted to, and try to assert them into the Old Testament. I call this shooting a bow into a tree. Imagine you have a bow, you shoot the arrow into a tree, and then you draw the bullseye around the arrow where the bow hit. You didn't hit a bullseye. You're drawing the bullseye around the arrow. That's exactly what you do. She said, this was hilarious. Yahweh is called a rock. Jesus calls himself a rock. Conclusion, Jesus is God. Think about it. Muslims, think about this. She said, Yahweh calls himself a rock. Only Jesus is a rock. Jesus is God. Khalas. Allahu Akbar. So again, guys, I don't know if she hasn't read her Bible lately, but Peter is called a rock. Peter is called a rock. Abraham is called a rock. You want me to give you the verses? Here, I got you. Isaiah 51, verse 1 to 2. It says, look to the rock from which you were hewn, Abraham your father. So Abraham is called a rock. Is he God? No. 2 Samuel 23:3. David became the rock of Israel. According to her, if rock equals God, then we should read this as David became the God of Israel. Allahu Akbar. Moses speaks of idols in Deuteronomy 32:31. He says their rock is not like our rock. Their God is not like our God. Allahu Akbar. Jesus is the rock in a different sense, not as God. I'm pretty sure she cited 1 Corinthians 10:4. Paul explains this himself in 1 Corinthians 10:11. He literally says, these things happened as symbols. Christ was the antitype, not literally a divine rock. And you could even go to conservative Christian scholars such as Gordon Fee in his commentary. He says Paul is speaking typologically. The rock is not a statement of Christ's divinity. Origen, church father, on his commentary of John 1.22, he says Christ is called a rock in a figurative sense, not because he is the God of Israel. So wait, according to Origen, Jesus is not the God of Israel. So that destroys every point you made about Yahweh is X, Jesus is X, therefore Jesus has to be God, because Origen says that he is not the God of Israel. Tertullian against Marcion 5.9, he says the rock was Christ figuratively, not identical with the Father. These arguments get cooked. These are like trash arguments. Jesus forgave sins. Only God can forgive sins. Leviticus 4:20, 4:26, 31, 35. The priests forgive sins. 2 Samuel 12:13. Nathan forgives David. Jesus never once claims that he will forgive sins by his own divine power. According to Mark 2:10, the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. He claims authority was granted to him by God, which proves he is not God. So again, if you want to claim there's two Yahwehs or that Jesus is a second Yahweh, you don't have a debate in this bone right here that we're picking. Go ahead, my friend. Allahu Akbar.
All right. Are we going to move on to the rebuttals? 7 minutes. 1 second. 1 second. All right, Tiger. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay. I think Central doesn't know what this debate is supposed to be about, because you were supposed to be an argument against the divinity in which Jesus would be God in any sense, and you ended up reading. That's what the debate is. What's Jesus's divinity? That's what the debate is. And you ended up giving us multiple times when the church fathers and multiple people say Jesus is God. You didn't show a divinity of Jesus other than God. So thank you very much for doing. Guys, what does this sound like? Doesn't this sound like the debate that Logic had with Libiado, where he was supposed to be showing how Jesus is not God, but then ended up showing that Jesus is a God in a sense? Yeah. Thank you very much. Now let's go to John 17 verse 5. I'm just going to go over to the Greek, right? That says, so first of all, John 17 verse 5 says, right? It says, and now Father, glorify me in your presence with the glory with which I had with you before the world was. So first of all, Jesus is asking for a certain glory that he had with the Father before the cosmos. He said that this speech here is not speaking about Jesus being eternal or Jesus having this glory forever. But according to Jesus himself, he quite literally says that this glory that he's speaking about is a glory that he had before the cosmos, meaning Jesus had to be there before everything was created, making him eternal, making him God. Now let's go over to the word, right, where Jesus speaks about the glory. And if we go over to the usage, which, you know, they failed to read. Guys, I have to do this fast. I'm just gonna pick up on certain things that he lied about. Let's go. So if we scroll down to usage, I'm just going to show you guys. So a most glorious state. Okay. Let me do this real quick for you guys within my time. So I'm gonna flip my camera. So guys, if we see here, this is the word, right, that's used for John 17 verse 5. I'm gonna scroll up quickly. This word here, doxe, okay? Now if we go down to it, what's the very statement that it's making? A most glorious condition, most exalted state of the condition with God the Father in heaven, to which Christ was raised after he had achieved his work on earth. Luke 24:26, John 17:5. What does it say? Where he is said to have been in the same condition before his incarnation and even before the beginning of the world. So you're telling me that the state that Jesus had was a certain type of glory that he had from the very beginning, but you said Jesus is not eternal, and it's not speaking about eternal glory. Well, if we go to John 17 verse 1, let's see what state John 1 says Jesus is in, because apparently John 1 is not speaking about Jesus having divinity. Okay, let's read. What does it say? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with, according to John 17 verse 5, as it says, God, and the Word was what? God. Okay, so that defeats that argument. Next, I'm gonna do let me just read this. Sorry, let me flip my camera. I have to do this in short time. So I'm going to read let's read, there's somebody that he quoted that he lied. He only read the first part and then he skipped over the remaining of what the person said. Okay, so let's read what Justin Martyr actually says, the bit that he skips over. Okay, so this is Justin Martyr's statement. Our teacher of these things, Jesus Christ, who also was born for this purpose and was crucified under Pontius Pilate and rose again and ascended into heaven, and who is called the Son of God, we say that he is the firstborn of God, and we have declared him to be the word of whom every race of men were partakers. Those who live in accordance with the word are Christians, and even though they have been false atheists, as among the Greeks, but this Christ, if he has indeed been born and exists anywhere, it is God himself. That's according to his statement. He says, we reverence and worship God of the universe, the Father of righteousness, and his Son, who came from him and taught us these things, who alone is the only proper God. This is according to what's it called? This is according to what he himself just read from Justin Martyr, who also affirms that Jesus Christ is God. Then he also brought what's the rest? He said Jesus knowing the hour. Well, according to the Bible itself, Jesus himself said, right? The disciples say after Jesus makes these clear, and guys, I'm rushing through this, so I can't bring the text. I will bring it in my closing. They say after Jesus makes the clear statement that they affirm that Jesus himself does know all things. And if we read the context of the Matthew that he's talking about, what was the context? We know within the Bible, know itself is used in several different contexts. Because when Mary says she does not know yet a man, we know within that context she's not going to be speaking about lacking knowledge. It's the same way when when Paul says, I choose to know nothing but the crucifixion of Christ, we know he's not talking about lacking knowledge. So we know when the word know is used, it's being used within the reference. If you go to the text, what does it say? Now Christ tell us when the hour is, and tell us when the tell us when the seasons are. What did Christ himself do? Christ told when the seasons are, but he didn't tell them when the hour is. It's the same text that's used in Acts, where Christ himself says, where the disciples ask Christ, and they say, can you please let us know if it's the hour? And he says, it's not for me to let you guys know the things that that God himself has kept in his possession. He also went to, I don't know, he quoted some things that I didn't say. Colossians 1, I didn't say Colossians 1:9. I said Colossians 1:16, where it says that Christ himself is the creation, he's the firstborn over all creation. The word firstborn there is speaking about preeminence. If Christ created everything, you are going to need to tell me how the one who created everything, according to 16, 17, and 18 himself, is also being created. I don't have much time to go through this, so I will go over everything in my cross-examination. So yeah, there's a few other things, but I think that's my time done.
Ready? Central, let me know when you're ready, and I'll start the time.
Yeah, real quick, brother. I'm getting like spammed by the Muslims. They're saying that like mods are unmuting like very blasphemous people.
All right, I'm gonna keep an eye on it as well. I mean, I'm trying to pay attention to the debate. I have mods down there, so mods, if you guys can mute anybody.
I'm reading the comment section. All they're doing is insulting me. I'm not seeing anybody blaspheme. Like all they're doing is
I thought it was
insulting
under
me.
control for a minute, but
Blasphemy.
maybe not.
No, it is.
I'm
There's no
not really
blasphemy.
paying attention to the
They're just
chat.
lying.
I modded the Muslim apologetic too, so he's down. If he's down there, he has the ability to mute Christians for blasphemy. And Christians, don't unmute any Christians that have been muted for blasphemy, please. If they've been muted, leave them muted until the end of the live. So if a Christian gets muted, leave them muted until the end of the live, please.
Guys, I'm not trying to run. I'm just trying to have like a nice, cordial debate without anyone like blaspheming either. You know,
100%. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys down there. Yeah, just mute them for the rest of the live. And if you get muted, guys, that's on you. That means you were saying something you probably shouldn't have said. So no apologies here. We want everybody to be respectful. So, okay, go ahead, guys.
Yeah, you can start my time in 3, 2, 1. Everybody give a big round of applause to my honey tiger. She conceded the debate, and she doesn't even know it. She doesn't even know that she conceded the debate. Why? Look at the topic. The deity of Christ. The deity of Christ. The very first thing that she said is, Central. Our debate is about, is Jesus God in a sense? Is Jesus a divine being in a... That's not what the debate topic was. That's not what the topic of the debate is. The topic of debate is the deity of Christ. Full stop. Not the deity of Christ in a sense. Is Jesus God in a sense? So you trying to change the argument to, is Jesus God in a sense? Again, even if you do, it's meaningless, because in Orthodox Christian theology, the Christian doctrine is very clear. God is eternal, uncreated, one essence. Every claim you've made refutes this, showing that Jesus is created. Colossians 1:15, firstborn of creation. He's subordinate. 1 Corinthians 15:28, John 17:3. He's dependent on God. Mark 10:18, John 20:17. So therefore, any, in a sense, qualifier is just a semantic trick to escape the scripture and logic of your own Bible. So please, you're getting bait. This is sad. The topic of the debate is not, is Jesus God in a sense? It's, is Jesus God? Full stop. That's it. So when we talk about God, we know him as uncreated, not subordinate to anything or anyone, and not dependent on anything or anyone. That is who God is, unless we have to redefine the term God when we debate Christians. This is sad. Very, very sad. Again, you have to look at biblical contrast. John 1:1, the word was God. Again, the Greek lacks the article. The word was divine, according to F.F. Bruce. Colossians 1:15, Jesus is the firstborn of creation. Created, highest authority within creation, according to F.F. Bruce. Mark 2, again, she says Jesus forgives sins. Forgiveness delegated, not divine essence, according to Professor Dunn. Again, guys, I'm bringing scholarship to back my arguments. She isn't. Larry Hurtado, he says, quote, early Christian worship of Jesus was devotional, not ontological equality with God. That's in his book, Lord Christ, page 63. F.F. Bruce, in the Gospel of John, page 31. The Johannine Logos is not identical with the Father, only a unique revelation of God. James Dunn, in his Christology in the Making, page 254, quote, Paul's Christology is subordinate, not co-equal with the Father. Cooked. So again, guys, this is just using common sense and logic. Saying that Jesus is God in a sense is a weasel word. Scripturally, there is only one God, the Father. 1 Corinthians 8:6 confirms this. John 17:3 as well. Jesus cannot be both created and eternal, subordinate and co-equal without collapsing logic. So in what sense is a created being eternal? In what sense? Explain it. In what sense is a subordinate being co-equal with the Father? In what sense, if Jesus is God, in a sense, why does your theology insist on worshiping him as God in prayers, in liturgy and doctrine? Does your Bible allow other created beings to be God in a sense as well? For example, David. Is David God in a sense? Are the angels God in a sense? According to your definition, we could apply the word God in a sense to anyone. I am the God of this panel. Does that mean I'm claiming to be the Almighty God? The most forgiving, the most merciful, the eternal, uncreated cause? No. Again, we have to redefine the word God when we debate these Christians, because they lack brain cells. Sorry. So again, being there in the beginning or sharing glory with God does not prove ontological eternity. John 1:1, John 17:5 describe Jesus' role and mission, not his divine essence. Scripture repeatedly shows that he is subordinate, created, and dependent on God. God cannot depend on himself. It's that simple. I'll bring my 7-year-old nephew in right now. I'll ask him in front of 1,000 people, does God need anything or anyone? His answer will be no. And he's not indoctrinated. So let's continue. She says that according to John 1 and the Greek, it states that he was with God, that makes him eternal. Being with God in John 1:1, the Greek indicates a relationship, proximity, or functional role, not ontological equality or eternal godhood. And the scripture and the Greek support this grammar. F.F. Bruce, again, he says the key point here in his the Gospel of John, page 31. He says, The Greek signifies a personal relationship and orientation toward God, not identity of essence. C.K. Barrett in his Gospel according to John, page 128. Guys, notice I'm the one bringing references. She's just making up stuff and telling you, oh, I'll give you the reference later. No. C.K. Barrett, the Gospel according to John, page 128, he says, quote, the Logos is with God in the sense of agency and mission, pre-existent, but not co-eternal deity. The article in the Greek has a very big significance. It qualifies the word as divine in nature or status, but not identical to God. Scholar D.A. Carson says, John is stressing the divine character of the Logos, not asserting ontological equality with the Father. Cooked on that. Athanasius in his Contra Arianos, he says pre-existence does not equal the same substance. It just shows priority and function. He says the Logos was with God before all time in God's plan, but not equal in substance to the Father. You got baked on that. You said Justin Martyr says that we worship him. According to Justin Martyr, according to scholar Ronald Nash, in The Light of the World, page 45, he says Justin clearly distinguishes between the Father, who alone is God, and the Son, who is worshipped in a subordinate sense as God's agent. So Justin Martyr viewed Jesus as God's agent, not as co-equal, co-eternal with the Father. That's my argument. That's my challenge. Show me pre-Nicaea where they believed Jesus was co-equal, co-eternal, co-substantial with the Father. Go.
Your time was done. You shouldn't have been speaking after the 0.
All right, guys. There's no time on the questions, right?
There's no time. I'm just gonna go into it. Central. Did you say at the very beginning, right? What did you say this argument was supposed to be that I got wrong, please? What was this argument supposed to be?
Yeah, is Jesus God?
Did you admit that Jesus is God?
No.
You didn't admit. So according to the statements that you made, did the church fathers that you bring up say that Jesus is God, even if it's in a sense?
No, they did not. They believe he is a second God.
Is that a God?
Do you have two gods?
You can't ask me a question. Is that a God? Yes or no?
Not the Almighty.
But is that a God?
A God in a sense.
So that is a God.
In a sense.
That is a God, yes or no? That's why I asked you. I didn't say in a sense.
In a sense.
So is that a God, yes or no?
In a sense.
It's a yes or no question. I'm going to ask you one more time. Yes or no?
In a sense. Yes,
okay.
In a sense.
So guys, we'll just take it that he conceded. So like we said, he literally gave it to the debate. He said that. He said I conceded, but you know, it is what it is. Let's go to my second question. Let's leave that one alone. I've got so central question. Can something that is not eternal sustain eternity within themselves?
Repeat your question?
Could something that is not eternal, right, sustain eternity within themselves?
What do you mean by that?
As in, are they able to hold all of eternity within themselves?
That's very broad. What do you mean by that?
Do you know what eternity is?
Of course. What do you mean by that, and what is your implication?
So when I say eternity, meaning a time that has no end, can something that has an end, right, hold all of eternity within themselves?
No.
Okay, beautiful. According to Colossians, right, that you read, did it say that Christ is before all things and all things are held within him?
According to Colossians, post or pre-eternal?
I'm talking according after Colossians 1:17, where it says everything is created through him. Then he says he's before all things and in him all things hold together. According to that verse, does it say, post-eternal. Does it say that Christ was there before eternity?
So it means that he has a beginning but no end. So if you're saying post-eternal, that means he has a beginning but no end.
So I'm going to ask you this. If Christ is before all things, how does he have a beginning?
Because you just said it's post-eternal. That means he has a beginning but no end. Pre-eternal means he has no beginning and no end. You folded your very own question. Folded you. Post-eternal means that you have a beginning but no end. Pre-eternal means that you have no beginning and no end. So you cooked yourself. Okay,
Central. According to Malachi, right? Malachi 5 verse 2. Should I read it to you?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, wait, are
Let
you
me read
running
it.
from the pre-eternal? You got baked on that.
No,
GG's.
I'm not running. You said
So
pre-eternal. You said pre-eternal, right? Means that you have what's it called? I just wanna hear it for everyone. You said something that's speaking about pre-eternal means it has no beginning, right?
yeah, again, you
Okay,
said
beautiful. It's just
pre-eternal.
hello. It's pre-eternal, meaning pre-eternity, right? Pre would be
No,
speaking about
you
before.
didn't say pre. You said post.
So I'm asking you, fine, don't worry, that's fine. Does pre-eternal mean you have no beginning?
What did you mean by your original question?
Does
Post-eternal or
pre-eternal
pre-eternal?
does pre-eternal mean you have no beginning? Yes or no? Central.
Yeah, pre-eternal
Okay,
means that
thanks.
you have no beginning, no end, but that's not what you said.
Okay.
You said that
Okay.
he's
That's
post-eternal.
fine. Excuse me, Central. You're only supposed to be answering questions I ask you.
So you got
So let's
baked.
go to that's fine. Micah 5 verse 2.
Can you
It
concede you
says,
made a
but as
mistake?
for you, no, but as for you, Bethlehem, Ephraim, too little to be among clans of Judah, from you one will go forth for me to be ruler in Israel. He's going forth from everlasting or eternity. Central, is that pre-eternal?
No.
Central, could you please tell me how eternity past has a beginning? At what point eternity past
Yeah.
will have a beginning?
Again, you're presupposing that this is even applying to Christ.
Could you please tell me who else comes from Ephraim that has no beginning?
You
Who
would
comes
have to
from
prove it's
Bethlehem that
about
has no
Christ.
beginning?
You would have to prove it's about Christ.
Does Christ come from Bethlehem?
Sure.
Does Christ come from the line of Judah?
Sure.
Would Christ be the one who came forth from Bethlehem and would be ruler under the line of David, according to the Bible?
He was never a ruler.
Does Christ come from the line of David?
Yes, but he was never a ruler.
He was never a ruler. Does
No.
Christ take on the throne of David at any point?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
so let's read the Bible.
No, he does not.
Let's go.
The throne of David means you inherit the lands of David. He never did that.
Okay, let's go to. There's a few.
By the way,
scriptures I
she's
can
going
take
on
you
to her 10th question right now. We agreed to 7.
I'll ask you this one, and then
How
I'll
many
have one
questions?
more.
How many questions was that, Tiger?
I actually wrote 11, but that's the thing. He keeps on jumping through all the. He has to concede because he said I asked him questions, and what he's doing is he's flipping the questions and changing it. So I have to bring him certain points. I don't know why he's doing that.
Can you answer the questions
So
directly?
he's not actually answering my questions straightforward. He keeps on flipping it. So
Here,
I'm
here,
not having
I'll
to
be
present
generous.
him.
I'll be
having
generous.
to present him
I'll be
verses
generous.
to
Ask
back what
another.
I'm saying.
Ask another. I'll be generous.
No, I've got 2 more questions for you.
Okay, so
I've got
12
2 more.
questions
2
in
more.
total. So 12
Yeah,
in total.
I've got 2 more questions for you. And please stop changing the answers to the question. Answer them straightforward.
No problem. The Muslim will be generous to it. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me get this scripture real quick. Okay, so this is Isaiah 9 verse 7. There will be no end to the increase of his government or peace, and on the throne of David and over his kingdom, to establish it and uphold it with justice and righteousness from then on and forevermore. Central, does the earth have an ending?
Yes, the earth ends, and Isaiah 9 is about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
This guy is such an idiot. Oh my goodness. Okay, anyways, according to Isaiah 9 verse 7, does it say that David's throne would have no end?
According to what?
According to what I just read, does it say that whoever is going to be on David's throne is going to sit on David's throne eternally?
Yes, and the Muslims still rule David's throne. They are the ones who ruled the lands of David. Yes.
Do you know what it means to sit on a throne
Is that your
and
final,
rule?
is that your final question?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my final
The throne
question.
of David is not a literal throne.
You can't keep asking him questions.
The throne of David is not a literal
Okay,
throne.
it is-
According to
it is what
biblical
it is.
comment, let me respond.
I mean, yeah.
The throne of David is not a literal throne that someone carries around and a person sits on it, right? It's the throne of David is a reference to the lands of David, which is why I said Isaiah 9 is about Muhammad, because Muhammad did come like a warrior according to Isaiah 9:4. He fulfills Isaiah 9:6. He fulfills Isaiah 9:1, and the Muslims inherited and still rule over the throne, i.e. the lands of David, till this day. Cooked.
All right.
And host,
I
thank you.
guess that's the
Yeah,
end of the
it's
question.
absolute rubbish because if it's speaking of Kingdom of David, then it can't be speaking of something that is earthly if it's saying forever.
Tiger.
It is what it is. Go
Can't give
ahead.
a
What's your
response to
question?
that. Okay.
All right, Central, your 7 questions.
7. She asked 12.
No,
Yeah, no, he can
we gotta
ask
grant him
ask
his 7
12.
questions that she had. So
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Where are we going, Starma? Tiger, you said Jesus is the root of Jesse.
Yes.
Okay. Isaiah chapter 11. This is my first question. The first question, him being the root of Jesse, is just a qualifier. She did that plenty of times. So
wait, but you actually consider those questions though.
Yes, bro. If we're going off of that, then she asked it
It's fine.
You can ask it, but that actually counts as a question because
No. It's fine. It's fine. If you want to pause it, qualify, it's fine.
If we're doing that, then she asked me like 20.
Well, no.
Jesus is the root of Jesse, correct?
Yes.
Okay. According to Isaiah 11, it says that the root of Jesse will fear Yahweh. Does Yahweh fear Yahweh?
Yes.
So God fears God?
Yes, because we know according to Philippians 2, it says that Jesus himself subordinated himself and took on obedience in the form of man. So we will be saying it doesn't matter. You went over to, when I gave you Bible verses to read, you switched it over and you answered a question I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you about Muhammad. You brought Muhammad in. So I'm going to say it according to Philippians 2, it says that Jesus himself, he took on a subordinate state after being God, right? And he became obedient unto the Father. So the question, all that we'll be speaking about there is him giving reverence to Yahweh. So if he took on a servant role, then yes, according to him being the root of Jesse, he can also give servitude to Yahweh, as the Bible says.
Did God become a servant to himself?
Jesus became a servant to the Father. You know,
did God
the Trinity,
become a servant to God?
You would have to go within the Trinity
it's a yes or no.
which is we
it's a yes or no.
If we're speaking about God according to the qualifier of Father and Son,
I'm just asking
then
yes or no
yes, the
question.
Father God, the Father God, the Son God, right? He gave, what's it called? He became obedient to his Father. Yes.
That's not what I asked.
It doesn't matter. I didn't ask you.
That's not my question.
It doesn't matter. When I said yes or no, you kept on saying in a sense.
That's her answer. You got to keep going.
Yeah.
No problem. According to Isaiah 11:3, it's the Hebrew word used for fear is infinitive, meaning the person who is fearing the other person infinitely is in fear of him. Did the Son fear Yahweh pre-incarnation?
So the word fear there would just be speaking about reverence. Does the Son have reverence for his Father? Yes, it does.
Did the Son eternally fear the Father?
So I'm going to answer again. The word there would just speaking about, it would just be speaking about reverence. So yes, the Son does have eternal reverence for his Father.
She can't answer. So guys, again, in layman terms, God fears God.
I answered the question.
Okay, according to Mark chapter 8, 27 to 29, we see that those who witnessed Jesus' miracles and actions merely concluded he was a prophet. Who did the disciples think Jesus was in the Gospel of Mark?
You would have to tell me which part of Mark are you talking about. So
according to Mark 8, 27 to 29.
Okay, let's read it.
Because according to the verses that I'm giving you, we see that the very people who witnessed Jesus' miracles and actions merely conclude that he was a prophet, as they thought that he was John the Baptist or Elijah, and there was never a debate regarding their natures. Therefore, we can conclude Jesus was only a prophet.
You said Mark 8, 29?
27 to 29.
Okay, so Mark 8, 27 and 29, they are asking questions, but they conclude that you are the Christ, meaning that he's the Messiah. They didn't conclude that he was just a prophet.
Did they conclude that he was God?
If he is the Messiah, according to the definition,
he is God, yes
according to the definition of who the Messiah is, which was supposed to be, according to Isaiah 7 verse 6,
he was God,
born
yes or no?
of God and also being God Almighty, yes.
You gotta let her answer the question.
Yes, they did.
She's not answering.
According to what the Messiah is, yes, they did.
Okay, so being the Messiah makes you God.
According to the Old Testament scriptures, yes.
Beautiful. So Cyrus is God.
I said according to the Old Testament scriptures that speak about the Messiah.
Yep.
Was
So
Cyrus,
is
was
God.
Cyrus, was Cyrus the prophesied Messiah that was supposed to come from Bethlehem?
Yes, there was prophecies regarding Cyrus, who is also called the Messiah. If the Messiah is a title that is given to God, then Cyrus is God. According
Cyrus
to
came
Isaiah
from
45.
Bethlehem?
You
Doesn't
can't
matter.
ask,
You don't
you can't
need.
ask him
There's
a
no.
question.
There
Hold
is
on,
no
hold on, guys.
qualifiers.
No, you guys are firing
Come
back
on,
and
bro.
forth.
Y'all. Nobody
You have to, I
interrupted her when
got
she
you,
was
bro. I
answering.
got you. We're gonna be fair
Come
here,
on,
but you
bro.
have to answer a question. Her response to your question is her answer, meaning you can't continue to press her on the same question. If you ask her a question, she answers the question. It is what it is. If you don't feel like she answered it the way you wanted to, that's not how this works.
No problem. Why did they? Why did they in Mark 8:27? Why did they conclude that he was? Why did they conclude in Mark 8 that? Why did they think that he was Elijah or John? Did they think Elijah was God?
No, they didn't think Elijah was God.
So then what's going on here? Because it says Jesus and his disciples went on to the villages where around Caesarea Philippia. On the way, he asked them, "Who do people say I am?" They replied, "Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and still others, one of the prophets." "But what about you?" he asked. "Who do you say I am?" Peter answered, "You are the Messiah." So according to your logic, their initial thought was that he is a prophet. Initially, they thought he was a normal prophet, just like John,
Where's the
just like
question?
Elijah.
Is this a
Yeah.
question?
So,
What's the question?
if they were expecting God, why are they asking him if he's John the Baptist? Did they expect John the Baptist to be God as well?
Okay, so this is the problem that you have, because nowhere there is the statement that they're making a question. Jesus is the one that asked the question. He says, "Who do people say I am?" He didn't say, "Who do you say I am?" Right? The first qualifier is the people who don't know who Jesus is said that he was John the Baptist, said that he was Elijah, said that he's a prophet. When
Are
Jesus
those prophets or
responded,
gods?
Let her finish.
excuse me, please. When
Oh
Jesus
my
responded
God.
directly to Peter, and he said, "Who do you say I am?" Peter said to him, "You are the Messiah, Son of the living God." So Peter did not see Jesus as a prophet, according to what the statement
Yeah,
says.
and
Stop mixing my Bible.
those same people who witnessed all these allegedly divine statements, actions, and miracles, none of those actions convinced the disciples that he was God. So yes, Messiah, that doesn't equate to him being God.
Is
Thank
this
you
a
very much.
question?
Next,
Is this a
yeah, I'll move on
question?
to my next question.
Okay.
Do you agree with Justin Martyr when he says that Jesus is a second God?
You would have to show me the statement, because I don't trust you. You lie on the
quoted
statements.
it. I quoted it.
Just because you quoted it, you would have to show me the
you
actual
didn't show a
source.
single. You
Okay,
didn't show a single.
whoa. You can't. This is not a back and forth, dude. You ask a question.
Yeah.
She asked you to give us the source, because she doesn't know what part you're talking about. So you have to. Can we pause? We'll pause. If you can find the source, ask her about it,
Here.
and then she can tell you if she agrees with.
He doesn't have it. He's reading off ChatGPT. That's why.
No problem. Do you agree? Here, I'll rephrase. Do you agree with Justin Martyr when he says Jesus is a lesser God?
Like I said, you would have to show me the quote.
Okay. Okay. Here. So you in no sense would say that Jesus is another God, right?
Stop asking me a question and show me the quote.
Okay, no problem. Dialogue with Trifo. Yeah.
Is this the quote or is this ChatGPT? I need the actual quote itself. I don't need. Is this the actual thing or is this ChatGPT?
No, this is not ChatGPT. This is New Advent.
Okay, fair enough. I have to make sure. Go on.
I shall attempt to persuade you, since you have understood the scriptures of truth of what I say, that there is and that there is said to be another God and the Lord, subject to the maker of all things. Is Jesus another God? Yes or no?
I don't have to accept what Justin Martyr says there. I would just say that I'll have to look into what he says.
Is he another God? Yes or no? That's not my question.
I'm not going to answer that, because I need
need
to see what you're asking me according to what Justin Martyr said.
Yeah,
So
do
I
you
would have
agree
to,
with Justin
I would
Martyr?
have to
Yes or no?
myself, I would have to read the context according to Justin Martyr.
So, do
So
you agree with
I
Justin
can't.
Martyr? Yes or
I've
no?
told you I would
Pause,
have
pause. Let me
to.
help
I
him
would
with the
have to
source.
read.
Why am I being
Let me help him with the
interrupted?
I would
source.
have to read the whole thing and
Oh
know what he
Guys,
said
my
properly.
God.
No, because
Why am I being
wait,
interrupted?
Central. If you're gonna read the source, you need to read it correctly because you're
I
stopping.
did. What?
He actually immediately qualifies and says
Bro,
it's
come
not
on,
a
Darren.
second
You
one
can't
first.
help her, bro. You
No,
can't
but
help her
you're
mid-debate,
being
bro. Come on.
disingenuous. Okay,
Bro,
dude,
come on, bro.
you
What
can't
are we
do that,
doing
dude.
here?
If you're gonna
You
give, if we're
can't
gonna give you
Central. You
time,
can't
if we're
make
gonna
me
give you
conclude to
time
something
to
you're
read the
misreading.
Bro, what are
source,
we doing?
listen. If we're gonna give you
What are we
time,
doing?
we're gonna stop the clock so that you can clarify
Bro,
your source.
Darren, you can't help her mid-debate, brother.
No, but you got to read the whole thing. You
No,
can't.
I'm not going to read 50-something chapters of dialogue with Triton. I'm not doing
Okay.
that.
Yeah, Doran,
Does anybody
don't
agree with
worry.
that?
I've told
I
you.
think that's being completely disingenuous.
Yeah, Doran, we
No
know
problem.
he's been. That's
Can
what
I
he keeps
speak,
on
No,
or
that's
doing. He
fine.
keeps
Hey,
on.
my turn? It's my
just
turn.
to be fair,
Hello?
hey, Tiger,
Hello?
hold on. To be fair, I'm gonna shut up. But if she says I'm not trusting your source, then just go with it. She doesn't have to answer you.
Okay.
What the heck?
So if you're gonna force her to answer the question, you at least have to give her all of the information.
No problem. Here's
So
all
if she says I don't want to answer it, then that's on her.
Can
So
I speak,
I'll be
brother? Come on,
quiet.
bro.
I'll shut up.
Don't make this a 2v1, please.
No, I'm
Okay,
not. I'm just
guys.
trying. I just want you to be fair. That's all.
Church Fathers, New Advent is the website. Dialogue with Trifo. Trifo is speaking to Justin Martyr. If you go down to chapter 56, this is Justin speaking. I shall attempt to persuade you, since you have understood the scriptures of the truth, what I say, that there is said to be another God and the Lord, subject to the maker of all things. I will ask one more time. Is Jesus another God? Yes or no?
Like I said, according to just reading of that context, I'm not answering that question. I'll have to read the context of the whole thing.
So do you agree with Justin Martyr? Yes or no?
I would have to read the context of the whole thing, so I'm not
If
answering.
anyone's throwing church fathers under the bus, it's going to be me.
Okay,
Next.
so I didn't throw anyone under the bus by not answering.
You did earlier. You said I literally
just said I don't have to agree with him, but at the same
But
time,
you
I'm
quoted
not
him.
answering the question.
Wait, but you quoted Justin Martyr.
Okay, I quoted Justin Martyr the same way you quoted Justin Martyr, but I'm saying when answering the question,
you do accept him. So you do accept him.
I'm saying I accept the context in which I read, in which Justin Martyr is saying that Jesus is God.
So
I'm
you
saying
do.
the context.
Okay, beautiful.
I'm saying the context that you are reading. I don't have to accept what you are reading out of context. I don't have to accept that.
What is out of context? Okay, nothing is out of context. I'm giving you the reference.
But
I showed it on screen.
I'm telling you, reading one line of Justin Martyr when he's giving a whole
That's exactly
speech.
what you did. That's exactly what you did.
Okay, but did I tell you have to accept it? I didn't ask you a question on it.
So wait, no.
Like,
Okay,
I don't
we're done.
understand.
Hey, guys,
I didn't ask
we're
you a
back.
question
No problem. I'll
Get
move
to your
on.
next
I'll
question.
move on.
What's your
No
next
problem.
question, Tiger?
I don't know. I don't know.
Tiger.
I don't know why
he's
you
asking the questions.
Yeah, no, but that's
If you
but
don't
that's
have
the
an
one.
answer,
The one he's trying to.
I got it. If you don't have an answer, we're gonna move on. Just say you're not gonna answer that next question, please. But what we're not gonna do is this is not a back and forth. This is his time to ask you questions. You answer the question to the best of your ability, or next question, please.
No problem. I want to thank her for conceding that she's quoting scholars she's never read. So another jab, okay? So Tiger, does God pray to himself? Yes or no?
Does God pray to himself? I mean, according to your Quran, Allah gives
We're not talking about the Quran.
If
We're not
salah is
talking about
something
the
that's
Quran.
supposed to be, it
Hello?
doesn't matter.
We're not talking about the
It
Quran.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's an answer to the question.
Where's my body bag?
It's an answer to the question.
You gotta let her respond, Central. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay, but we're not talking about Islam.
It doesn't matter. You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me that it has to be biblical based. You asked me about God, so I'm going to give you an answer about God. Yeah, I'm going to answer about God. So according to it, if it could be a qualifier that inside of another religion that the God can pray, and prayer is something that's only meant to be done to God, then in some sense, yes.
Tiger, does the biblical God pray to himself? Does Yahweh pray to himself?
No, because the biblical God,
Beautiful.
God, which I'm going to answer the question. The biblical God, which is different from others, is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So there will be no point where any of the persons would be praying specifically to themselves, but they would be praying to the one that they relate to.
Okay, so God, the biblical God, does not pray to himself.
the biblical God is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So at no point would you be having a absolute oneness when it comes to relation of the
You got two more
identities within God.
questions. Central, you got two more questions.
Yeah, by the way, Allah sent Salah on Muhammad, not himself, so that isn't
So Allah praise to Muhammad. Okay, thank you.
No.
Okay.
So again, I'm asking. She doesn't want to answer. Does
I
the
answered your
biblical
question.
God pray to himself?
It's the question that you're asking is fallacious, because you know
What's
that
fallacious?
the identity within God is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So at no
Beautiful.
point would it be having a prayer towards oneself, but it would be praying towards the relation that's within God. So that's the answer to my question.
So when Jesus was on earth, he was God, correct? But he was not the Father, correct?
Yep.
So when Jesus prayed, when he was on earth praying to the Father in heaven, did you have one God who was in heaven and one God who was on earth?
It was the same God,
It's a
but
yes
we
or
know
no.
God
Was God in
itself,
heaven and earth at the same time?
the same being of God, yes, because God is omnipotent, so God can be everywhere
So
at the same
Jesus,
time.
while he was on earth,
That's your last question? Is that your last question, Central?
He's asked me over
Yeah,
12
this
questions,
is
by the
my
way.
second question.
You're
This is my
clarifying,
second
you're
question.
rephrasing the same
This is
question.
my second, because she's not answering.
I
Her
am
answer, bro,
answering. You just don't like my answer.
Her answer
So,
is her answer.
Darren, come on, bro. You can't be helping, bro. Like,
Central, in
come
a formal
on, man.
debate, she doesn't have to give you the answer you're looking for, my guy.
Okay, so then I literally could have just said, I don't know, to all of her questions.
No,
Like, what are we doing?
I didn't say I don't know. I'm answering your question. Wait, but Duran, you know what? This is funny. Duran, he's asked me more questions than I've asked him.
Right.
Every single question.
You asked me
No.
questions.
Central,
I never
don't do
asked
that.
you.
Central, every single
Okay.
question I asked you, you gave me some type of
Okay, let's do
diversion
this.
that
Right,
required
dial it
me
in.
to bring a Bible scripture. Stop it.
Okay, dial it in. Let's dial it back. Central, you have
Okay.
one final question.
So she
Tiger,
just,
you are not allowed to ask him any questions. Your job is just to answer questions at this time. Okay?
yeah, so she's not answering any questions. And by the way, she asked me sub questions, clarifiers, which I clarified. That's why we went on
counted
for
those
so
as
long.
questions.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Nobody was counting except for me.
That's when
What
you
are
said
talking
she was
about?
at 12, dude. She didn't ask you 12 complete questions. I can tell you that.
Yes, she asked me 12 complete questions with sub questions in between.
No,
That's tough.
Anyways,
Anyways,
let's
this
continue.
is Duran. Make sure, Duran, please
No
send
problem.
me, send me this
I
live when
got
we're
you.
done,
Once
because
I
you're
got
such a
you.
liar.
No
You just
problem.
Go
be
ahead,
sitting here
Central, give
lying.
your final question, please.
Got you. So you said God was on, this is clarifying my previous question. So you said that God was on earth and heaven at the same time.
Yep.
Okay, beautiful. Was there, I just want to yes or no. Did you have one God on earth praying to another God in heaven? Yes or no?
No.
So Jesus never prayed to God
That's it.
the Father.
She said no. That was
The Father is not another God. The Father is the same God.
I don't know why y'all. All right, guys.
Hey,
listen.
I'm gonna make a final statement.
We still got people that got questions for y'all. Ain't no bad.
Tiger.
What, you thought you were doing
down.
something?
Tiger, look
No. You look.
Tiger, look
You
down.
look up. You look up. Don't
Tiger,
worry, I
look
got
down.
you. Enter the bag.
Tiger, look
Enter
down.
the bag. Enter.
Look
Look, my bag is
down.
My bag is cute. Enter the bag.
Look down.
Enter into the bag. Enter the bag. You enter the bag. How about that? Rubbish.
I'm out here collecting Christians in my body.
Do you guys? Would you guys agree to Q&A? Would you guys allow people to, maybe a few people to come up to ask you guys some questions apiece?
Yeah,
we
I
gotta do
don't mind that.
conclusions. We gotta do conclusions.
Okay. Oh yeah. So questions first or conclusions and then questions?
I mean,
Conclusions first.
we can do conclusions.
Maybe a few questions.
I'll go. So we're 7-minute conclusions.
Perfect.
Let's do this. Okay. So guys, this is the problem when Muslims like Central Dawah over here try to think that they can hold you to a corner. I think you forget that the Trinitarian point of view or the Christian view of God is as simple as this: that there's one being, right? And within this one being, there are three persons that share the same one divine essence. So when you come over and you say, does God pray to himself? That would be a fallacious question, because we know within God, there is a relation between Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So at a single time, you can use God to quantify the person that you are talking to, and it wouldn't be speaking about a completely different God. So God does not pray to himself, but Son prays to the Father while he's in human form. I'm going to read Philippians 2, which is what I was talking about, and which most of the church fathers actually quote. And this is what it says. Philippians 2 says this, right? Have this mind, have this way of thinking in yourself, which was also in Christ Jesus, who, although existed in the form of God, okay, did not regard equality with God a thing to grasp, but he emptied himself by taking the form of a slave, by being made in the likeness of men, being found in the appearance as a man, he humbled himself. So when you come and use obedience, this will be talking about Jesus in the form of a man. So yes, like you said, if he comes from the line of Jesse, this is speaking about his flesh. What was he within his fleshly state? He was humbled. So would he have obedience according to his flesh? Yes. You tried it and said that the fear is speaking about everlasting. Here's the problem. If you're talking about a created being, then you absolutely lied, because a created being cannot have eternal reverence for the Father if he has a beginning. So you lied, and we keep on catching you in your lies. Stop lying. Don't do that with my Bible. Hence why I wouldn't answer your Justin Martyr thing, because all you do is lie, 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 lie. According to the Bible, that's the language of Satan. So stop lying in front of everybody's face. Now let's read. You said I didn't bring anyone. Let's just do this. Let me do what you do. Since you like to read, you like to come and bring scholars from ChatGPT. That's why you had to find the sources. Let me also do the ChatGPT thing, okay? Let's read all the scholars. You like to read scholars? Cool. Larry Hertard, right? Top New Testament scholar, University of Edinburgh, right? He says one of the leading experts on the earliest Christian worship, Hurtado's conclusion, Jesus was treated as God from the earliest decades of Christianity. Lord Christ, and this was from his book, Lord Jesus Christ. Can you pause my time? 4:25, remember that. Go on.
Yeah, we're going to give you another 10
Okay.
seconds.
Thank you. So it says here, from his book, Lord Jesus Christ. Okay. Second, Richard Bauckham, Cambridge, St. Andrews, leading authority on the Second Temple Judaism. Bauckham's conclusion: the earliest Christians included Jesus within the unique divine identity of the one God of Israel. Martin Hengel, Tübingen University legendary historian, right? He also says the designation of Jesus as God occurred before Paul. The New Testament writer, the M.T. Wright, Oxford St. Andrews, right? He says Jesus acted and spoke in ways that embodied Israel's God. Craig Kana, scholar, prolific, he also said John clearly identifies Jesus as God, and the synoptic gospels also present Jesus with divine authority. We continue. Christopher Toketz, Oxford University critical scholar and expert, often quoted by Muslims. Okay. John's gospel presents Jesus as divine. Guys, let me just read to you guys the definition, because if Central over here, which he did, if he concludes that Jesus is divine, let's look at the definition of divinity, because a lot of people don't understand what divine means. Of or like God or a God. So if Central, even if he wants to hold to that Jesus is not the God, he is still going to hold to that Jesus is a God according to his own statement. I don't need to agree with that, but he conceded at the start of the debate, he conceded within his premise, and he conceded at the end of the debate as well. Thank you very much, Central, for giving us this one. Let's continue. James DG, he also says the earliest believers worship Jesus. And as we read Thomas, what did Thomas say? Thomas said, my Lord, my God. What's the reference? In Hebrew, what's he referencing? The Lord of me and the God of me. A statement that's made in Psalms to only God. Thomas says the exact same thing. So if Jesus is the Lord of him and the God of him, then yeah, it quite literally makes him God. Thank you very much. Let's do Bart Ehrman. Bart Ehrman, the atheist. Huh? Oh. He says Jesus is explicitly explicit, and yes, I am using ChatGPT because that's what you use for this argument. Yeah, Jesus is explicitly called God in the Gospel of John and possibly in Paul. So he doesn't have to agree, but he clearly shows you all those statements that you said that he wasn't God. Yes, he is God. So I don't need to keep on going through this. You wanted scholars. I gave you guys references. You guys can go check the references yourself. It's very clear inside of the Bible. Not only is Jesus called God, right? And that Colossians verse that you kept on bringing. First of all, when it says that Christ is the firstborn over all creations, let me take it out of your book. Okay, well, David is called the firstborn. Well, this other one is called the firstborn. Does that mean that they're the firstborn over what they're talking about? No, because firstborn is a title that's given to the one that stands over what's being referenced. So when Jesus is called the firstborn of all creation, it's saying that he is the head of all creation. Hence why he ends and says he is before everything, and in him all things hold together. You fall flat because what does it say? Every single thing, according to Colossians and according to John 1, it says it was created through him, for him, and by him. And apart from him, nothing that's created could have ever been created. So you are basically over here trying to quantify that a created being who would have had to create himself created absolutely everything. I would use the word, but you guys laugh whenever I say it. You know what I'm talking about when it comes to Allah. We also have this inside of their Quran as well, where Jesus is also creating things and having the same attributes as Allah. Yeah. So
You got 10 more
I
seconds.
yield.
Okay.
I have 10 more seconds. Guys, I think it's been made very clear here that without lies, a certain religion dies. But when the truth is upheld and the truth is heard, you can't cancel out the truth.
Awesome. All right, Center, you're up.
Yo, give me like 2 seconds, please.
Got you. Let me know when to start your time.
I just want to turn my camera back on. You can start my time now. By the way, she said a prayer in the beginning, so I don't want nobody to get mad. This is what Allah, the Almighty, says. God, subhanallah. And on Judgment Day, Allah, go on mute, have some respect. And on Judgment Day, Allah will say, "Oh Jesus, son of Mary, did you ever ask the people to worship you and your mother as deities besides me?" He will answer, "Glory be to you. How could I say what I had no right to say? If I had said such a thing, you would have certainly known it. You know what is hidden within me, and I do not know what is hidden within you. You alone are the knower of the unseen. I never told them anything except what you ordered me to say. Worship Allah, my Lord and your Lord, and I was a witness over them as long as I remained among them. But when you took me, you were the witness over them, and you were a witness over all things. If you punish them, they belong to you after all. And if you forgive them, you are surely the Almighty, the All-Wise." What did Jesus say in the Quran? I told them, worship your Lord and my Lord. What does Jesus say in the Bible? I go to my God and your God. And the Aramaic, he's going to Allah. This is sad. Sad, sad, sad. Sad. ChatGPT, you're quoting James D.G. Dunn. You don't know who James D.G. Dunn is. You said Larry Hurtado? It's not Larry Hurtado. It's Larry Hurtado. You don't know the scholars you're quoting. You don't know what the hell you're saying. Sad. Go back to church, dance, and sing hymns. You're better off doing that. Guys, we needed to get that. We needed to get that in there. It is very clear from the Old Testament. God is uncreated, eternal, not subordinate to anyone, to anything, does not need anyone. Allah does not need anything, anyone. He doesn't need anything. Jesus, again, basic, elementary, 101 Dawah script arguments. Jesus needed food. He needed a mother to sustain him. If it wasn't for Mary, your God would have been dead. He would have been dead. What are we doing, Christians? Hello, what are we doing? In our debate, we had to redefine the very word God. We had to redefine it. Why? Why is it that when we talk about God, the Almighty, we have to redefine the term to suit your narrative? This pagan Trinitarian view of God that developed in 325. Why is that the case? Allah says, come to common grounds when we speak to the people of the book. We can't come to common grounds with you because you went from monotheists to pagans. Respectfully, I'm sorry, but I'm saying it with all due respect. I'm a little upset. I'm very upset. I took this last minute. I took this debate last minute, guys. Some other Muslim was supposed to debate. I stepped in last minute. And wallahi, as Allah is my witness, I did not use ChatGPT. These are everything I said is basic Dawah script 101 arguments. And why do we as Muslims still use them? Because clearly they still work. Christians cannot get past John 17:3. Christians cannot get past Mark 13:32. These are arguments they cannot refute no matter how much they try. That's why Allah says in the Quran, their tongues will confess against them. Now remember, guys, when she asked me a question, she asked me, she actually made the claim that Jesus is post-eternal. She said, yes, he's post-eternal, meaning he has a beginning. How can God have a beginning? If he's the Alpha and the Omega, no beginning and no end. You said Jesus is post-eternal. When's his beginning? When did he begin to exist? You said that. That's a clip. You blundered because you don't know what you're saying. She quoted Bart Ehrman. But Bart Ehrman, on John 1:1, he says it's a complete forgery. John 1:118, he says it's a forgery. So why are you appealing to scholars that disagree with you? You quoted Bart Ehrman, and Bart Ehrman says John 1:1 to 1:18 is a complete forgery. Orthodox Corruption of Scripture, page 347. You got baked, Tiger. If I did this to you last minute, no prep, if I put you in this body bag, the body bag that Sister Itachi is going to put you in is going to be 100 times longer and 100 times wider. So I would suggest you maybe refrain from that debate. So guys, let's conclude, inshallah. Let's conclude. This will be my closing statement. Scripture, Greek context, church fathers, and modern scholars all confirm Jesus is pre-existent, exalted, and supreme in creation. But he is not the one true God. He is the Son of God according to the Christians. He is subordinate according to Christians. He is appointed by the Father according to Christians. Worship, glory, and preeminence do not equate to deity. Any argument claiming otherwise collapses under the weight of their own scripture and logical reasoning. Simple as that. I'm not even going to address the scholars that she brought up. She didn't even know how to pronounce their names properly. She said Larry Hurtado. Did you miss the O at the end? It's Larry Hurtado. Larry Hurtado. So if you're going to use ChatGPT, at least do it properly. Once again, guys, we will end with some verses of the Quran. I have 45 seconds. Allah says, consider the day. Allah will gather the messengers and say, what response have you received? They will reply, we have no knowledge compared to you. You alone are indeed the knower of the unseen. And on judgment day, Allah will say, O Jesus, son of Mary, remember my favor upon you and your mother, how I supported you with the Holy Spirit. So you spoke to people in your infancy and adulthood, how I taught you writing, wisdom, the Torah, and the gospel, how you molded a bird from clay by my will and breathed into it and it became a real bird by my will, how you healed the blind and the leper by my will, how you brought the dead back to life by my will, how I prevented the children of Israel from harming you when you came to them with clear proof, and how I inspired the disciples.
Time's up. Shush.
You went over time. You went over time.
Because I got interrupted by them sending you a loud gift. So he gave
That's
me.
That's not my problem.
It is a problem.
Gifts as well.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They didn't.
Gifts as well. You went over time.
Nobody sent a gift that had to interrupt you in the middle of your speech.
You went over time. That's crazy. That's cope.
Doron, did you not give me 10 seconds? I actually stopped when my time was stopped. Doron said I could continue. I actually stopped before the 10 second time.
Cope.
Shush your mouth, man. You gave me the argument. You think that you came here. First of all, this argument didn't have anything to do with whether what's it called? Who's the person that's muting me? We can't hear you, Doron. We can't hear you, Doron. You're muted. Doron, you're muted.
Yeah, I thought you guys. I was talking this whole time and nobody can hear me. The reason, what I was saying was, we got to be equitable. The only reason we gave her an extra 10 seconds is because your people are sending loud gifts to interrupt. So she actually stopped her time so that she can continue to speak. But at the same time, Tiger, we got to just pause. We can't.
I was gonna say 5 words. That's it.
Okay.
No,
we appreciate you.
It's over.
All right, let's get to the questionings now. So, how many questions would you guys agree? 3, 5, what?
What time is it? 6:30. Yeah, we could do 3, but because I have to go somewhere.
Okay, 3 questions. We'll let you guys choose. If you guys want to read the comments, who wants to go first? Christians or Muslim questioning?
That doesn't matter.
I can read who's in the chat. So for Christians, we'll have a Christian come up first to ask central question. We have Rita, we have J49er, we have Drive-By Theology, we got King Sylv, we got Nobody, we got Bought by Blood, we got let me see who else we got. We got Lakari. So you have a lot to choose from, Tiger.
You can bring up King Sylv first.
All right, we'll bring up King Sylv. Hold on 1 second. Where'd he go? Sorry, y'all. It's a lot of people requesting up, man. This is probably the most we've had. I don't even know how many people this is. King Silver.
Hey, Tiger, look to my right.
Hold on.
Tiger, look to my right. It's big. It's long.
Alright, stop. He's trying to use my thing,
and
bro.
It's got a zipper.
He's trying to use my thing, bro. Stop.
And it's got a zipper, man.
Put you there.
In the comments chat.
Hey, King Silver. Oh, there you go. There you go. I see him.
Thinking that you're doing something.
Brother. There we go. All right. Hey, King, you're only allowed to ask 1 question. After you ask the question, I have to drop you down.
Yeah, for sure. I just have to clarify something, then I'll go ahead and ask my question. And by the way, some of the mod rejected my request. That's why. But anyways, so he brought up just the martyr. Let's see if he's gonna be able, to get away from it. He brought up the dialogue with Trifle. I'm pretty sure it was chapter 56, where Justin says the one who appeared to Moses in the burning bush. This is the context of it, right? He was talking about the God of Abraham, Moses, and Jacob, right? If we go right to the dialogue 128, right, to the chapter 128, he says, I do not say that the word is different in number, which it means a different God, but that he is a different only as to being another a proston. What? A person, while I still call him God. So he's referring in that sense to be the second person. He's not saying the second God. Why?
To a question too.
Because, yes, I'm about to go ahead and ask my question. So when Justin Martyr in his dialogue with Trifle, he was referring to the second person. Yes, of course.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No problem.
And Doron, some people, that one of the Muslim mods keep on canceling Christian things. Like they keep on canceling. Multiple people are complaining.
You guys, Muslim apologetic, please don't do that. And then Sid is the only other Muslim that has access.
Give me the big screen if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Give me the big screen. Beautiful. He asked for the reference. No problem. Right. This is the reference from chapter 128. What does it say? The word is sent not as an inanimate power, but as a person begotten of the Father's substance. Boom on your face, boy. Okay, now the question is that I would like to ask you.
It doesn't. Wait. Wait. So the question, you originally came up and said that means.
My question is, Mike. Can I ask my question now? I don't know why you keep interrupting me.
Go ahead.
The question that I have for you, why are you lying about Justin Martyr when Justin Martyr in his dialogue meant to say he was referring to the second person, not as a second divine, as a second essence where it's separated?
Okay, thank you. So stay on the fence. Guys, someone...
Go ahead.
No, leave him. Just put him on mute. Guys, someone clip this. Muslims, start screen recording. 3, 2, 1. Guys, this is how stupid this guy is. Here's the dialogue with Trifle. Shush.
I'm about to go to rebuttal, by the way, host.
No, you're not. No, you're not,
brother. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
You can drop down after your question. You can drop down if you want, but you can't.
All right. It's okay, guys.
Drop him.
Once this is over, join my live stream so I can bury you with this.
All right, we'll bring you back up once the debate is over, my guy. Much love. Thank
Guys,
you. Thank you for the question, by the way.
by the way, guys, let me just point out that Sylv came up and added the words, that means he's not another God. And he's so stupid. This is the dialogue with Trifle. Let's go to chapter 128. He said, Justin Martyr says that the word is sent not as an immanent power, but as a person begotten of the Father's substance. Nowhere does Justin Martyr say that. Nowhere in chapter 128 does he say that. That's only the title of the chapter. That's literally just what the title of the chapter is. What an absolute idiot. That's the title of the chapter of 128. Justin Martyr never says that. You got baked, red cheeks. Try again.
All right, next question. So, Central, who do you want to bring up for your side? You have Yanis, you have Islamic Apex, you have Muslim Tiger, you have SJ.
Disconnected.
Let me see, who else do you have in here? I think KB Crusader. I don't know if he's with you guys. You have Contra. Perfect.
We can go with. I already know who I'm going to bring up.
Muslim
My three. Bring up the Muslim Apologetic, and then I'm going to do Apex after, and then I'm going to do SJ after.
Okay, got you.
Barakallah fik. Can you hear me, by the way? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Alhamdulillah.
All right. The question is going to be for Tiger. I'm just going to make a clarification quickly. So, according to Nehemiah 9:20, the Holy Spirit is given by Yahweh. And if we also agree that according to Nehemiah 9:6, the pronoun you is a personal pronoun, so it has to be predicated to a person. It can't be predicated to an essence without a person. So these two things are clarified. The question is very simple. If Nehemiah 9:6 says that you alone are Yahweh, how can Jesus be Yahweh if the Yahweh in this case is not referring to a triune entity? Because you don't believe that the triune entity is a person. You believe that it's what grounds the three persons. That's the question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate your question.
You're on mute, Tiger.
Oh yeah, you're on mute, Drake.
I can hold to the same language that's being used in John 17 verse 3, where you alone are Yahweh is a title that's being given to the person. Yes, but this still wouldn't take away that Yahweh is the name of the being. So this could be said to the person the same way it says that you are the true God as a title to the Father, but it is still something that is given to the Son and also the Father, showing that this is something that's speaking directly to the being.
Beautiful.
So yeah, so it would be speaking to the person within the context, yes, but this is something that's named to the being.
Do you want me to respond, or do you want to?
Well, is that what
just
you're
do?
doing? I don't think you guys were responding. I don't think you guys were having secondary rebuttals.
Yeah, I didn't respond to themselves.
Yeah, I think it's just a question because you said you had to go, so you said you wanted to make it quick.
Okay, no problem.
3 people each,
No
so we
problem.
could have done it. We could have done it that way, but we didn't agree.
I mean,
on it.
I just assumed that's usually what we do in debates, but that's
Yeah, no, we could have done that. We have no problem with that. But you said you seemed like you had a timer. I mean, did you want to start doing that? We could start doing that now because she went first. So
yeah, no, on the next person he can do that with, but not now. No, thank you.
She can do it as well.
I didn't do that
if you want to do it, that's fine. Okay, so now we're gonna have a Christian come up. So we still have the same
Dom?
people. Who?
Nobody.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
You should be coming up here in a sec. Nobody, welcome.
What up, though? All right.
My brother.
All right, so Central, swallow. I understand. Central. So here's my question. Why did you, on purpose, as if we don't have the internet that can fact check you, lie on both Athanasius and Justin Martyr by saying that Athanasius said that the Son is a creature when he says in his 4 discords against the Arians, chapter 10, that he says that the Son, not being a work, meaning not being creation, but proper to the Father's offspring, always is. For whereas the Father always is, so what is proper to his essence must always be. And Justin Martyr says in Dialogue with Trifle 128, at the end he says that the Son is begotten of the will of the Father without abscission, as if the Father's essence could be divided.
What's the question, bro?
That was my question. Did you track it?
That was exactly why
you didn't really ask the question.
Oh, I'll do it one more time.
Go ahead and clarify the question, and then I gotta drop you down.
I'll do it one more time. My question is, ready? Listen, since you might have to take out that earbud so you can hear me. The question is, why did you lie? Why? I mean, that's the start of the question. Why? Hold on. Why did you lie on Athanasius and Justin Martyr when you said that Athanasius says that the Son is a creation, when Athanasius says that the Son, who is proper to the Father's essence, always is? And why did you lie on Justin Martyr saying that the Son is a creation when Justin Martyr says that the Son is the will of the begotten from the will of the Father without obsession, as if the Son, as if the Father's essence can be divided, being fire from fire, consubstantiality. Can you please answer that question?
Beautiful. All right, nobody, I gotta drop you down. You're welcome back up after the live is over because I want to talk to you about that. That's good. But okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I didn't lie. I didn't lie. What he's doing is he's giving a different quote to what I originally brought. He's not quoting the quote that I presented. So if he wants to say that his church fathers are contradicting themselves and they don't even know what the hell they're holding to, then hey, that's fine with me. If Athanasius says X and then says Y in another statement, that's Athanasius' problem. That's a Christian problem. That's not a central Dawah problem. So if he wants, he can... We can talk about it after. He can bring up the quote that I brought. So he brought up the quote. He can bring it up, pull it on the screen, and show me that I quoted what I quoted is a lie. And by the way, the always is, again, it can refer to him always being in God's foreknowledge. So I didn't lie about anything. By the way, guys, don't gift me. Yeah, don't gift me. GoFundMe in my bio, inshallah.
Did you want 20 seconds to respond?
There's not much to respond to that apart from just
next question.
He's always lying.
Okay.
Yeah, as Tiger said, he's
no,
eternal.
you can't speak, bro. You can't speak. All right, next person. So who did you said you want Islamic Apex? Is that who you wanted next?
Yeah, bring my guy Ennis up, no?
All right, Islamic Apex. We got a lot to talk about, but we're gonna bring you up for the sake of this debate. If he's here, he might have dropped back down, bro. Islamic Apex, can you put a request up so I can see you? If anybody sees him in the chat, let me know. Anybody sees him in the chat, let me know. Anybody sees him in the chat, let me know. Later.
Guys, someone share the live to Ennis real quick.
We'll talk about it later. Now's not the time. Let's see if we can get it. If we can't get him in here within the next 25 to 30 seconds, we will push to the next person. We'll give him a second to enter.
So people are saying he's here.
Okay, where is he? I don't see him. So Islamic Apex. Let me go slow down the chat. There's a lot of people. We have, man. This is probably the most people we've had. Oh, there he is. All right, he should be
All
logged in.
right.
Islamic Apex, welcome to the building. Question is on you.
Good debate, good shit. All right, so I just have a quick question here for Tiger, but can I ask a qualifier before that? You guys okay with that?
Wait, say that again?
Am I allowed to ask a qualifier?
Yeah, you can ask a qualifier.
Okay, so when Jesus, the Bible says, "Why do you call me good?" Jesus answered, "No one is good except God alone." My question is, but like before I get into it, according to your theology, would it be correct to say no one is good except the Father alone, or would that be incorrect?
You're on mute, Tiger.
I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah, so I would say according to the one I accept, it's saying no one is good but God.
So, okay, I mean that didn't really answer the qualifier, but so I'm gonna read you. I can list you fathers. We have 4 fathers here. Well, considering you reject Origen as a father, he's still a scholar. So I have Origen, which is one scholar, and I have 3 church fathers, which are Orthodox, meaning they are upon Christianity correctly. We have Hippolytus, Irenaeus, and Justin Martyr. They all quote the verse saying, "Why do you call me good? None is good except the Father alone." So why do the fathers quote it this way? Will this mean that the Father is the only God, meaning Jesus is not the one that is also good with him? Why do the Christians interpolate this? Thank you. Done. And if you have the sources, I can show them on the screen. I have them right here, if she wants to see them.
Appreciate you, Apex. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
All right. Respond to that.
So I would just take that as, again, another fallacious quoting or misquoting of what the verses actually say. I just want to read something from Justin Martyr himself, right? Because Justin Martyr, in his chapter 128, he also says, right, that he appears arrayed in such forms as the Father pleases, and they call him the Word because he carries tidings from the Father to men, but maintaining that this power is indivisible and inseparable from the Father. So if Jesus is calling the Father good and Jesus himself is inseparable from the Father according to Justin Martyr, then Justin Martyr would also have to hold to Jesus being good. So whatever you brought up, I don't know, I would have to read the whole thing, like I said.
Guys, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Saint Augustine, in his De Trinitate, Book 4, Chapter 5, he says Christ himself points to the Father as the only one who is supremely good. The Son does not claim that title for himself in essence, but acknowledges the Father's unique divinity. John Chrysostom, homilies on the Gospel of Matthew and Mark, he says, homily 57 and homily 41, he says, quote, no one is good but God alone. Not to deny that Jesus is not good, but to teach that the source of all goodness is the Father alone. Christ himself submits to this truth like a good servant of God, like a good servant,
Okay, go ahead and land. Go ahead.
like a good Abdullah, like a good Abd. Jesus submits to this truth, showing the Father's primacy. Or I won't go with origin.
Perfect.
Cyril of Alexandria.
That's 20 seconds to respond, man.
Come on, bro.
You get a whole minute?
Come on.
Bro, do you get a minute to respond, my brother? This is her question. Your job is just to bring a bit of clarification on your position, not to give a whole dialogue. My guy, relax.
No problem. I just want to tell her real quick that you can't quote Justin Martyr anymore because you, by your own concession, said that you were ignorant of his text. So don't quote Justin Martyr.
I can quote Justin Martyr because I said I'm ignorant of what you brought. Doesn't mean I can't read the context. I told you what you brought. I would have to read the whole context. I'm not slow. I can read things really quickly and get the context. Okay. Like I'm reading right now and getting the context.
Perfect. Hold on, and we can have these conversations after the debate is over. Let's finish. We have one person. We have one person each. So let's do this. The next one is a Christian. So let's see who you have. You have J49er. You have Bought by Blood. You have I don't know if KB Crusader. I don't know if he's a Muslim. He might be a Muslim.
No, he's Christian, bro.
Oh, he's Christian. Okay,
KB Crusader is Christian. Yeah.
Perfect. We have Jay in the chat. It's moving up fast. It's jumping around. You guys are like requesting them like crazy. You have the Resurrection. You have Good News Tyler. You have some of you guys, I don't know if you guys are, I'm just naming who I know is Christian right now, guys. Sorry. You guys, the Islaminator. Sorry, it's jumping, guys. You guys were Pope the first.
Crusader up. I think KB Crusader is a Christian.
All right, bet. So
look down.
Perfect.
Can you leave me alone? What the heck?
Let me scroll back down. Let me scroll back. Sorry, it's a lot. All right.
Wait, KB, you're a Christian? You're a Christian?
Yes.
Okay.
So, can I ask a qualifier?
Yeah. Sure.
Cool. Central. You guys believe in John the Baptist. So, who does John the Baptist prepare the way for?
Wait, can you come back to the screen, Central, since this is on you, bro?
Yeah, 1 second. I just got
Hold on, KB. Let's wait for him to come back. You know.
That's cool.
We want the brother face to face.
Okay.
Brother had to use the bathroom or something. I don't know.
Go ahead. No, I went to grab a drink.
You believe in John the Baptist. Who does John the Baptist prepare the way for?
Yeah, Yahya alayhi salatu wasalam prepares the way for Jesus in Mark chapter 1, verses 1 to 3.
Okay, that's beautiful. According to Isaiah 40 verse 3, where it says that John the Baptist will prepare the way for Yahweh, how do you reconcile those two passages? The fact that you just conceded that John the Baptist prepares the way for Jesus, if you take the Isaiah 40 verse 3 verse that it's quoting, it actually identifies the person he prepares the way for with Yahweh. How do you give an account for that?
Yeah, again, it's called agency, something I already explained. And somebody has a crazy echo. I don't know who it is.
My bad.
Yeah. So again, guys, this would just be agency. So you see that the biblical principle known as agency being completely utilized. For example, God came to Israel via his representative, the Messiah, and we know from the context, that to welcome God's representative was to welcome God himself. Likewise, to prepare the way for God's representative was to prepare the way for God. Furthermore, the concept of agency is established all throughout the entire Old Testament, as I said in my intro, such as when Moses is called Yahweh, Deuteronomy chapter 29, verses 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, or when the action of Aaron striking the Nile River in Exodus 7 is attributed to Yahweh. So you guys, bro, you wasted that question for what? So again, you can prepare the way for Yahweh. Doesn't necessarily. That's crazy.
Great question.
Echo, but yeah, that was a trash question, KB. Trash, absolutely terrible.
Tiger, would you like
I'm gonna put you in the body bag next.
Tiger has 20 seconds if you'd like to respond to that last question.
I think it's very clear. Wait, sorry, let me get my
No worries.
earphones. Yeah. I think it's very clear what was said. If according to the biblical scripture it says that John prepares the way for Yahweh, when you read the verse that said according to John 1, it says that John prepared the way for Christ. So it wouldn't be speaking about agency, it would be speaking about the very one who he prepared the way for, which Christ himself would be Yahweh.
Beautiful. All right. Last question, I believe, for the Muslims. All right. So you have Jake. Jake's here. You have
Jake the Muslim?
Yeah.
Is he requesting?
Yeah, he's requesting.
Hey, bring my guy Jake up, man. You want to do 5 questions?
Tiger, that's up to you guys, man. I'm cool.
Assalamu alaikum.
She's
going on?
Hey, Jake, what's going on, my brother? You're up, my brother.
Nothing much. No, I had a question for Tiger. I don't know if it's time for her to get a question or.
Yeah. You got to ask her a question. Only one question apiece, and then I got to drop you down after you ask it. You can ask a qualifier if you need.
Yeah. So she just read out from Justin Martyr's dialogue with Trypho, chapter 128, where she quoted him as saying that the Word or the Son is indivisible and inseparable from the Father. And you mentioned that you're pretty quick at getting the context, but in that context, are you aware that Justin is attributing that view to someone else and he's actually refuting that view?
No, he's not.
Was that a qualifier or was that the question itself?
That's the question. He asked the question. No, he's not. And I'll read it to people. He literally says this is how you're silly. He literally says the context that he's speaking of, right, is how Jesus is the angel who appeared to Moses, and he speaks about Jesus being the word that manifests, in which the Father manifested to to Moses, and he literally says he's not saying it as if the word himself is indivisible from the Father being divided, but he actually comes from the very same essence. So this is what I mean. This is the reason why I don't accept what you guys bring, because you guys be misquoting the text. I would rather read it for myself. You lied.
Why did you drop him? That was his qualifier.
No, it wasn't. He said
yes,
it was his question. No, he said it was his question.
That was his qualifier.
No,
he said it was his question. He said yes.
That was his question. You said it wasn't.
He originally came up, said,
okay, what was he qualifying with that question then?
The context of what Justin Martyr is saying. If she's aware of the context, and then he was going to ask the question.
Hold on. Let's see if that was the question.
That was literally what the question was.
Was that the qualifier or was that the question itself?
Honestly, bro, I tuned into this late, so I don't even know how you guys are running this. I don't know what the difference is supposed to be, but I just want to make
qualifier is just to qualify the question.
Okay.
So then you agree that was the question, correct?
Yeah, that was the question. Take him down.
It was a good question. That was a great question. I don't know why Central's tripping.
No, but I just want to say this, and then I'll drop myself. Tiger, if you're willing to have a conversation about that, I'd love to, and I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, we're gonna open the panel up here in a minute. I mean, we're gonna have
Wait,
Yeah, I mean,
from both
because
sides coming up.
it's
Duran,
very clear, and this is a
Duran,
common error
I
that
want
all
to
the
do
Christians
this.
keep making.
I want to do this quickly. Yeah, it says here. This is Justin Martyr, right? And I'm gonna read it. According to chapter 128, it says Justin, and that Christ being Lord and God, the Son of God, and appearing formerly in power as man and angel, and in the glory of the fire as at the bush, so also was manifested at the judgment executed on Sodom, has been demonstrated fully by what has been said. Then he continues speaking about that manifestation. So according to the opening statement, he's literally speaking about Christ. So I don't know who you're lying to, but it's not me. But you
Yeah,
asked your
like I
question,
said,
so it's
Darren,
done.
I don't want to take up time on the panel.
Right. Okay.
But she's
Do you have
accusing
something
me
else
of
you wanted to
lying,
say
so
before
I
we
would
jump
be
in?
happy to talk about this.
No,
Well, let's
no,
work
I don't
this
want
out.
to. I don't want to
There's
have a.
other people that would love to probably have that
Yeah.
conversation with you, Jake. We got a lot of people that are requesting up as well that probably would love to have that conversation. But let's finish this debate. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But guys in
respond
the
now?
chat, please stop spamming, please. I know you
Can I
guys
respond?
are trying to be funny. But you guys can stop spamming until the debate is over. Please, let's be respectful here. But yeah, Jake, I'm gonna drop you down. Did you want to keep going with 2 more questions apiece? Tiger, are you good
Wait,
with that?
I get to respond. I get to respond to that.
Yeah. You let him
Let him
respond.
respond.
Yeah, I find it extremely funny that she says the two persons are indivisible. According to how you count by division, right? That would mean she'd count the Father and the Son as one person. That's heresy. So, Tiger, everyone give Tiger a round of applause. She admitted today in our debate, that Jesus has a beginning. She admitted it. As Allah says in the Quran, their tongues will confess against them. Her tongue confessed against her. She admitted Jesus has a beginning, and right now, by what she just said, she became a heretic.
Okay.
So from now on, address Tiger as a heretic. Simple as that.
Don't do that. Come on. Okay. Next, are we still going, Tiger? You're on mute. Are we gonna go into?
No, it's done. She can't respond.
Bring the next person. I just want you guys to look at this very well.
No, come on, Duran. What are we doing, bro?
I want you guys to
I gotta mute you if you're gonna keep talking. You cannot respond to what he just said.
Okay.
You can respond after the debate. If you disagree with something, you can respond after the debate is over.
Okay.
But
That's
you can't.
fine.
We're not gonna do that. Okay. So
That's fine. We can
did you
do
wanna
2 more
keep-
people.
Here's the question: did you want to keep going with 2 more people each?
Yeah.
Or are we done so that we can get to?
She's cooked, man.
I mean, you could bring 2 more people. That's fine.
Okay, so let's
Take
do
me the heretic,
So
man.
that was Jake. So let's see who we have. We have J49er again. Only way is Dean. I don't know who that is. Let's see, guys. If I don't call your name, that just means I'm not really familiar with who you are. So I do apologize. Let's see. It's a lot of people requesting up, so I gotta
Chat. She's mad because she became a
we got
heretic by
Jay
what
down
she said.
there. We got the Islaminator. We have, let's see. Sorry, guys. A lot of you guys, I'm not. Oh, yeah, Pope the First.
Come on, Tiger, have some faith in Jay, man. What happened to J49?
You know what it is? I completely zoned out. My bad.
We
I
have
didn't know that you
Jesus
were
No
King.
faith in Jay, man.
We have
I thought it was,
Jesus King. We have, like I said, we have J49er.
Okay. Bring up Jay. Why not?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, finally we got faith in Jay, man. No hashtag no faith in Jay, chat.
Oh, Jay, he be cooking for real.
All right. My qualified question to you, Central, is: did you say that the first person of the Trinity, do you agree, is the true God? Is that what you're saying? There's only one true God, the Father?
I never made that statement. The first person of the Trinity. I never said that.
All right. Is there only one true God?
Yes, there is only one true God.
That's the qualifier.
And if you then if you say that Jesus does not know the hour and does not make that declarative statement, you will end up with the Father lacking more knowledge than the Son. And the question is, if you don't know this, do you know that the Father said?
This is a monologue now.
Wait, he's asking a question. What do you mean? It's leading to a question.
Right. Because if there's only one true God and the Son is not the God, the Father in Hebrew 10:17 and Jeremiah 31 verses 31 to 34, it says, Yahweh says, I will remember their sins no more. So what would happen in this case is that you are going to turn around and say that the one person, just that one true God that you
Is
keep
this
on
leading to a
saying,
question,
one
Jay?
person is no longer has less knowledge than the Son.
You have to ask a question now.
Yep, that's what it turned out to be, because the Son says Jesus judges all men according to their works, and he has all knowledge of everybody's
Okay,
sin.
Jay,
The Father is saying that he doesn't
What are we doing
remember
here,
them.
man? Jay, get in the bag.
You
Hold
got
on.
it. You
He
got
said,
it. I know what you're. I
Central,
know what
do you
you're
even
doing. It's
understand the
good.
question?
It's good.
Do you
but gotta
understand the
answer
question? Here's the question, Central. Pay attention.
Watch this.
The
This is
Father
good.
Even
says he will
Tiger
not
laughing
remember the
at him.
sins
Okay,
anymore.
dude, relax.
If the word hey Central, listen to this. The Father says he will not remember sins no more. If that's not a declarative statement, if you say just saying those things means he really doesn't know, now you made the Father no less than the Son. Are you saying that God, the one person of God, you're saying there's no three person, that that person of God would know less?
Okay, that's the question. Do you understand his question?
Do you?
Yeah, when the Father
Oh, you
says,
didn't
"I
get
will
it. You didn't get
remember
it.
his sins no
Repeat the
more."
question. Repeat the
Yeah, you
question.
see what I'm saying?
Repeat that
All that
question
drama.
only.
All that
Duran,
drama.
can you
okay?
reiterate his question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
The question is very simple.
Should I clarify it for
It's
him?
Yeah. Darren, you reiterate his question. Go
If
ahead.
the Father says, "I will remember their sins no more," does that mean the Father lacks knowledge?
No. What?
So it's a declarative statement?
Then you're admitting. It's a declarative statement. Are you? Do you understand?
It's a rhetorical. It's a rhetorical statement. What are we doing here, man?
Central, do you realize?
Doing here?
Okay, Jay. Sorry, I gotta drop you down, bro. I'm sorry, I gotta drop you down. I don't think
Bro
you realize.
came up here for a
I don't think you
monologue
realize
just
what
to
you just
get
did,
cooked.
Central. The reason why I was trying to get him to clarify his statement so you can actually understand what was being said. I don't think you do.
Yeah,
But
maybe Jay misunderstood. This was a Christian meant to come up, not a defender for the Muslims.
That's
Jay,
wild.
get in the bag.
We'll talk about it
Jay,
after.
get in the bag.
We'll talk about
Get in
it
the bag, Jay.
after, dude. All right, next question. Okay, so who do we got?
I was supposed to answer.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I don't think he knows what like a rhetorical means. Rhetorical would mean that this is something that's not actually done, but rhetorical would just mean like a statement of something that could possibly happen that doesn't actually have, it could have no grounding in truth or having some groundings in truth, but it's something that doesn't actually happen, in which it could sometimes be a question. So there's nothing rhetorical about it. God is actually saying, and he's declaring that when it comes to their sins, he will choose not to remember it anymore. In which if you're holding to that very statement that the Father doesn't lack knowledge, then when it goes back to Jesus declaring that he knows not the hour, you would also have to hold to the same view that he himself doesn't lack knowledge. He's just declaring not to declare the hour in that very moment. That's it.
So the Father learned.
No,
So the
you-
Father
no,
literally
no,
remembered
no,
all their
no,
sins.
Time is up. Don't do
you
that.
Get to respond, bro. What are we doing here? Okay, so we have next person up. So that was Jay.
Wait, can she repeat what she just said? Can she repeat what she just said?
I don't have to repeat it. I said what I said. You should have opened your ears.
That's on you, bro. She just had a 20
No
seconds.
problem. I just want to make sure someone got it recorded.
Correct. Okay, so now, who do you want to come up? You have Ibn Aisha. You have Only Ways Dean. I'm not sure if I think he's a Muslim. Monotheist 12400. If you recognize any of these names, you gotta let me know.
Is Omar the Muslim requesting?
You said who?
Omar the Muslim.
Not that I. Oh yeah. I see him. Hold on, it's jumping
Bring
around.
my brother Ahmad up.
You guys stop requesting, man. Y'all jumping the chat around. I can't even see who he is now. Omar.
And then SJ, Wallahi SJ, I got you after. I don't care who requests. Wallahi SJ, I got you.
All right, so here you come. Omar the Muslim, welcome to the panel. You have one question only, and you can clarify, but you need to make sure that it's a clarifying question.
First of all, mashallah, you did very well, Akhi. And the clarification question is going to be, actually, I'll just say the question, and then I'll drop. Okay, so you previously said that the persons, the Father and the Son, are indivisible. Okay, they're indivisible. Now, according to you guys, you and the multiple of the brothers that you brought up on this panel to ask questions towards the Brother Central, they said that they believe that they count persons and God by division. Hence, there's monotheism, not polytheism. They count by division, right? So if you're going to say that the Father and Son are indivisible, then that would fall into them both being the same person. Therefore, you're a heretic. Please respond to this. Thank you so much.
Was that a question?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want me to reiterate it?
It sounded like a statement.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The statement.
Go ahead.
Did you get the question?
All right, she got it. She got the question. Thank
Yeah,
you.
the statement or question that you asked is absolutely silly because we're over here speaking about relative identity, in which we say that when we count, we are only counting the persons based on the relation that they have, but they are one based on essence. So we wouldn't be going into polytheism, which you guys keep on trying to do, which would be a categorical error because we say that they are one based on the one divine essence that they share, and also, right, the one nature, which is the one divine essence. So yeah. So I don't know.
So basically, what you're doing is picking and choosing when you want to count by division, right?
You got a question, or you have
I don't understand the reason why you're asking me a question when it's not your turn to ask me a question.
Guys, I'm done. She's picking and choosing when she wants to count by division. They don't know how to count their God.
Okay, thank you. All right, next question would be a Christian. Let me see who we got. You got Q-Top. You got The Word Wins. CB3 Amazing. JM. Let's see. I saw. Dang, sorry, I'm scrolling. We got Wisdom. Let's see.
I want to give Sancho a bit of a headache because I think he's doing a lot. Can you bring Q-Top up?
Man.
Bring up Treetop.
Bring Q-Top.
Your twin brother, man. Your twin brother.
Yeah, but for the fact that we body bagging all of y'all.
I mean, out here looking like looking like an ass.
All right, here we go. Q-Top, welcome to the building. You have a question to ask. You have one qualifier, and then you also have one question, and then I got to drop you down, man.
All right. Thank you, Brother Duran. Look, my qualifying statement would be, do you affirm that universals are grounded in Allah?
This topic is nothing to do with Allah.
Do you affirm, if you do not affirm the deity of Christ, right, that means you're taking the negation for the proposition that Jesus is God. So if you're taking the negation for the proposition that Jesus is God, that just would mean that you don't have any relational distinction in Allah. So I'm asking my clarifying question to be, do you affirm that Allah grounds all universals?
This topic has nothing relating to the Islamic
God. So he's running from me. Thank you so much, Duran, for bringing me up. Yeah, this question actually is very relevant because you're rejecting.
Sure, no problem. Universals are grounded in the particular which they subsist. That's his one clarifier. There you go.
Okay, perfect. If universals are grounded in particulars, then are you claiming that universals don't have an ontology? That's my question.
Okay, can you drop him? Good, thank you. So yeah, by themselves, universals can't exist. So that's it. That's his answer. It's very stupid Q-Top. Simple.
Wow. Okay. Next question, dude.
And they wouldn't have an ontology by themselves.
Okay. You have Cora. You have. Let's see. So is this number SJ? You have SJ, Cora.
Yeah, I promised SJ. So I'm gonna.
How many? Wait, just before she asks the question, how many we have left? Is that it after her?
You could just open up the panel. Why not?
We're gonna open up the panel. Yeah, we'll open up the panel. After
No. Be fair. Let SJ ask a question.
No. I want to ask my question 100%, but just open up the panel so that people can get their questions in, Christians and Muslims. But anyways, can I ask a clarifying question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. Tiger, earlier you said that Jesus is only obedient in his human nature, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, then how do you explain John 6:38 and even Philippians 2:6-7, which proves that Jesus was obedient, which entails subordination even pre-incarnation? Would you like me to read it for you?
No. So all of them would literally just be speaking about him taking on the role of servanthood. So
wait, does Jesus have to obey the Father?
Excuse me,
Was that an actual question?
It was a qualifier, so I'm answering the question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so it would be speaking based on the role that he's taking on. None of them speak about Jesus holding obedience to the Father outside of taking on the nature of a human being.
To be
Beautiful.
sent, you
Can I
have to
ask you a
obey the
question?
Father to do so. So that wouldn't make any sense. But and this would
Well,
be
I've answered your
contradict.
question.
Not really.
You gotta
You're
ask your question,
avoiding
SJ.
it.
What's the next question? You
Yeah.
asked me a
Anyways,
qualifier, so what's the actual question?
yeah, the qualifier was that you said that Jesus was only obedient pre-incarnation. But anyways, I'll ask the second question because you're wrong on that. The to be sent is to be obedient to the Father, correct?
That's the second question. Thank you. Go ahead. Do you want to answer that?
To be sent, yes, and to be sent, he was being sent in the human form. So his obedience only came according to the role that he was taking on, not according to his divinity with the Father. So, like I said, I answered the question. If you don't like the answer, that's your own business.
Central.
Yeah. Yo, Tiger, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna just use this 20 seconds to tell you you need to reflect on life. This was bad for you tonight. You admitted that Christ has a beginning. You admitted that you're a heretic. You admitted that Christ has a beginning. This is sad, Tiger. This is for me to take this debate on literally in an hour notice and to come up here and obliterate you. Like I said, the body bag that Sister Itachi has prepared for you is going to be the size of these black walls. You see how big these black walls are?
You got
That's
5
how big
seconds,
your
and then we're
body bag
opening
is
up
going
the
to be.
panel.
And you ain't coming out of that body bag, Tiger.
All right, game time. All right, welcome.
Yes.
That concludes our debate, you guys. First of all, let me just give a big thanks to both of these people right here because both of them top notch to me. Tiger did an extraordinary job. Central last minute, give them big props and much love for that. I mean, it was definitely last minute debate. But I think both of them did good. So we're gonna open up the panel, and here's how we're gonna do it though. You guys are gonna determine because we have a lot of people requesting up, y'all. We got a lot of people, so I'm gonna let you guys determine who actually comes up to participate in the open panel. So we're gonna get 3 from each side, and I'm still gonna be neutral.
Duran, while we're getting them, I just wanted to keep on saying Central keeps on throwing out this thing saying that, oh, I agreed to pro eternal, right? I also gave him the example according to Malachi that says that Jesus himself also was pre-eternal. So both pre and pro, the beginning and the end. You can't keep on holding me to
Not
this fallacy that you keep on holding me. Pre and post. I gave you both of them. So
no, you
both,
said pro. You said
eternal.
pro-eternal. You
Did
said
I give you
pro-eternal.
pre?
There's no such
when
thing.
When I gave you the book, when I gave you the question of Malachi, right?
There's no such thing as post.
When I gave you Malachi, right? Did I concede to pre according to Malachi? Yes or no?
All right, you guys. Who do you guys want up here? Because there's a lot of Christians. I see all y'all Christians, man. So I'm gonna let Tiger figure that out. If you want to figure out who you want to bring up, you got 2
You can bring up my brother Omar the Muslim.
You said who? Omar?
Omar the Muslim.
Oh,
yep.
Sorry, I just brought. It's jumping around. I think I just brought somebody else.
Could you bring up Banku?
Yeah.
And Duran, you don't even realize how bad this man just conceded, bro.
I know he did.
Literally said.
Hold on, real quick. Let's get some order, Q. Let's get some order. I gotta stay neutral right now because it's gonna be an even panel, so I have to make sure that the conversation stays equitable.
Somebody please send me that clip.
Can you bring up Omar the Muslim?
Yeah, I'm trying to bring it up. It's jumping around, bro. It's jumping around like crazy.
And then bring up Banku.
Okay, Omar the Muslim, I just tried to bring you up, bro. If you could put in a request again. I don't know why I didn't connect. Hold on. So we got 2. And who else?
Chat is spamming for either Quora or SJ. Are either of them there?
You can bring up Cora. I'm not having a dialogue with SJ. She's annoying.
Okay,
so running from SJ again?
No, it's because all she does is insults. I don't have time to be having
Hey, guys, we want to keep this extremely respectful.
Hey, host, I have an idea if that's okay, if I may suggest.
Yeah, but please. Let me find Cora real quick, you guys.
While you're doing that, one idea that
you have to bring one. Wait, oh no,
there she is. I see her.
Yeah, one suggestion I can give hopefully is maybe Tiger can discuss the quote from Justin Matter with Jake. Because I know he wanted to discuss that. So Tiger, would you be open to discuss with Jake about the quotation that you bought from Justin, or would you not like to discuss that with him?
I mean, sure. That one in particular, sure.
The idea would
Again,
obviously match what you quoted, right?
yeah, sure. I have it right in front of
Jake,
me.
did you wanna she's willing to engage with you on that particular question. Are you open?
Yeah, I would love to. I mean,
And then we'll get to some of the other guys on the panel. I see you guys. We'll get to everybody. I just want to make sure we keep it respectful. I don't want everybody yelling and talking over each other. Let's keep this extremely academic if we can.
Can I please ask Central a question?
Yes, but let Jake ask his question first, and then we'll have you ask Central the question as well.
Okay.
So go ahead, Jake. We'll give it to you first if you would love to engage with Tiger. I'm going to put a timer for you guys to engage for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to push the conversation to the other side, and we'll just keep doing it that way. We'll just keep going back and forth until one of them have to actually drop down.
Right. Okay. So she was reading from Dialogue with Trypho, Justin Martyr's work, chapter 128. And she read the part of the text. Obviously, she read more than that, but she read the part of the text that says that the Father and Son, or the Father and the Word, are indivisible and inseparable from one another. And Mr. Avery Godlogic made the same exact mistake. Many Christians have been making the same mistake, thinking that, oh, look, Justin Martyr uses these buzzwords of indivisible and inseparable, and they think that, oh, that's proving that Justin Martyr was a Trinitarian, because if he believes the Word or the Son is God, and that the Son is indivisible and inseparable from the Father, well, that's just what the Trinity teaches. But unfortunately, in the text itself, Justin is actually attributing that view to someone else and is refuting that view. Okay? So let me just read that part of the passage. So he says, describing someone else's view, and notice the language. He says, "And do not suppose, sirs, that I am speaking superfluously when I repeat these words frequently, but it is because I know that some wish to anticipate these remarks," meaning he's saying some people are going to anticipate this and object to my view, "and to say that the power sent from the Father of all, which appeared to Moses or to Abraham or to Jacob, is called an angel because he came to men, for by him the commands of the Father have been proclaimed to men, is called glory because he appears in a vision sometimes that cannot be borne, is called a man and a human being because he appears arrayed in such forms as the Father pleases." Now notice the language, and he says, and they, he's talking about someone else's view, and they call him the Word because he carries tidings from the Father to men, but maintain that this power is indivisible and inseparable from the Father. And she stopped there, but if you continue, you see the analogy he uses between the Father and the Son in reference to this view of them being indivisible and inseparable. He says, just as they say that the light of the sun on earth is indivisible and inseparable from the sun in the heavens, as when it sinks, the light sinks along with it. So the Father, when he chooses, say they, causes his power to spring forth, and when he chooses, he makes it return to himself. So notice the analogy that he's attributing this view and saying this is what these people are saying. They believe that the Father and the Word are indivisible and inseparable from one another, just like the sun and its light. Just like the sun and its light. Then, further down, he mentions that same analogy again and rejects it. He doesn't believe that. So he says here, further down, he says, but it is proved that there are angels who always exist and are never reduced to that form out of which they sprang, and that this power, which the prophetic word calls God, as has been also amply demonstrated and angeled, is not numbered as different in name only, like the light of the sun, but is indeed something numerically distinct. He says that the Father and the Word are not different in name only. What's the view that the Father and Son are different in name only? That's the heresy of modalism. He says they're not differed in name only, like the light and the sun, but indeed are numerically distinct. And then the analogy that he uses are two fires, one kindled from another, which he says, which we see to be distinct from it, meaning that they are two separate and distinct fires. That's why we count them as two, because we can see them as such, as opposed to the sun and its light, which are merely different in name, and that's the heresy of modalism, which he's refuting.
All right. And she responded. So I thought you guys were going to be able to have a back and forth, but
like I was hoping.
You said a lot.
But
I wanted you guys to engage back and forth, but that's okay. Do you understand what he said? Do you understand what he said?
I understand what he says, but this is where he cooked himself, because he also referred to the Son being the Word, and he referred to it and saying that Justin Martyr, when he's speaking here, he's not speaking about the Word and the Father being separate or distinct, being separate from each other, right? But the word that's used here is numerically distinct, not separate, but numerically distinct. He made it very clear that the passage itself is speaking about the Son while disagreeing and saying it's not speaking about the Son. So what I am gonna do is read what the text says, and we're going to read it fully, okay? So it says here, and we'll read it from the beginning and we'll continue. It says, and that Christ being the Lord and God, the Son, and the Son of God, and appearing formally in a power as man, an angel, and in glory of fire. By the way, check it here, that in one context he speaks about angels, then he goes and he would say angel, right? The same way he spoke about it at the beginning in a singular form, right? And in the glory of the fire as at the burning bush. Then we'll skip all of that because I read it before. Then I repeated once more all that I had previously quoted from Exodus about the vision in the bush and the naming of Joshua, Jesus, and continued. And do not suppose, sirs, that I am speaking superficially when I repeat these words frequently, but it is because I know that some wish to anticipate these remarks, which is what he says, and to say that the power sent from the Father of all which appeared to Moses or to Abraham or to Jacob is called an angel because he came to men. So it's basically saying they want to hold him as just being an angel because he came to men, right? Is called glory because he appears in a vision, sometimes that cannot be born. Is called a man and a human being because he appears arrayed. So he's not discrediting the things that are being said. What he's saying is that some of them try to call the one who appears, right? They're trying to say that he's just a man, trying to say that he's just an angel, trying to say that, oh, he's just the glory of God, and separate the word that came from the Father as being something very separated from the Father. That's the language that's being used here. So he goes, because he appears in a vision, sometimes that cannot be born, is called a man and a human being because he appears arrayed in such forms as the Father pleases. And they call him the Word because he carries tidings from the Father to men, but maintain that this power is indivisible and inseparable from the Father. So they're saying in one breath he's just a man, and in another breath they're saying that the power that he receives, kind of like what Muslims say, where they say that, oh, the power comes from Allah, right? It's from Allah, but the person is separate. So everything, all the authority that he's receiving is coming from the Father. That's what he's refuting. So he goes, just as they say to the light of the sun on the earth is indivisible and inseparable, is coming from the Father. That's what he's refuting. So he goes, just as they say to the light of the sun on the earth is indivisible and inseparable, return to himself. In this way they teach he made the angels, but it is proved that there are angels. This is where he's speaking. He is proving that there are angels who always exist and never reduce to always exist and never reduce to always exist and never reduced to something as just being produced. There are some angels that you will be quoting and saying that they are also eternal as well and don't reduce. Okay, and then he goes on to say, sorry, I just want to round it up, right? He said,
Yeah, because I have a question about what you read.
Yeah. Let me just finish. Where did I went past it. He makes a return, in this way, but it's proven that their angels reduce to its form and sprang, and that this power, which the prophetic word calls God, okay? So the power is called God. Who is the power that's being spoken of here? Jesus, as has been also demonstrated, amply,
and angel is not numbered in name only like the light of the sun. So he's not being called or represented as just like the light of the sun, but is indeed something numerically distinct. I have discussed briefly in what has gone before when I asserted that this power was begotten. So it can't be speaking of anything else but the Son from the Father by his power and will, but not by abscission, sorry, these words, my English, as if the essence of the Father were divided. So it's not saying that, oh, he was birthed and he was split, but he actually comes forth from the Father, as all other things partition and divided are not the same after as before they were divided. And for the sake of example, I took the case of fires kindling from fire, which we see to be distinct from it, and yet that from which many can be kindled is by no means made less. He's basically saying the one that came forth from the Father wasn't made less, but remains the same. So please stop misquoting Justin Martyr here, because he's quite definitely speaking about the word.
You misquoted the last part too. So I'm gonna.
What did I misquote about the last part? Should I read it again? Which part did I misquote?
I'm gonna go back.
Let him answer, and then we'll have you respond back to his.
Okay.
So your original quote was from the part where you read, "And they call him the Word because he carries tidings from the Father to men." But
that wasn't the bit I read.
Hold on a second. But maintain that this power is indivisible and inseparable from the Father. You didn't just read that in the debate portion that you just had
that's not the bit that I read. I was actually reading. I actually read the bit that I read.
Maybe you might be wrong, Jake. So let's see what she read.
You
can make a decision, and
hold on.
We'll be able to see if that's what she read.
I'm not talking about.
Oh, okay, no. It is. I thought it was the
read the
bottom
part
bit.
about indivisible and inseparable. So I'm asking you this question.
Debate.
So
so I read that. Okay.
My question to you is, when Justin says here, but maintain that this power is indivisible and inseparable from the Father, just as they say that the light of the sun on earth is indivisible and inseparable from the sun in the heavens. Is Justin affirming that view for himself in that passage, or is he attributing that view to someone else?
He also holds the same view, because later on he says, and he echoes it, and he says that he doesn't see it as being divided, but he sees it one and the same. So it's also indivisible as well. So yes, according to the statement, according to that portion, right, he's saying that these are how people apply it, and he also added other contexts as well to how it's being applied for the light, but he's holds
ascribing it to someone else.
But it is also his view, because he affirms it. He just says the way they hold it, he doesn't agree.
In this section here, is he attributing what is mentioned there to someone else, or is he affirming it for himself? Don't tell me that later on in another part of the text he's affirming something similar. That's not my question. My question is, in this portion here, is he affirming it for himself, or he's attributing the view to someone else?
I'm saying he is saying that this is what people say, but he's not denying the indivisibility. What he's denying is the way they see lights come from the sun. Stop it.
Okay, so
I'm already giving you an answer. I don't understand what's the point.
Hold on 1 second. I'm actually going to be hopping in the car. I got to run to.
And the people talking about ChatGPT, I'm literally on the thing. Like,
I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes. Now that we got all the pleasantries out of the way, I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to go back and forth again. So don't go on a dialogue. You guys answer questions back and forth.
All I need is 5 more minutes. So that's cool. Yeah.
5 minutes.
So
I'm going to put it on the timer.
The point is, and this is the mistake that a lot of these Christian apologists make, is they quote this portion and say that Justin is affirming this view for himself. He's not. He's attributing the view to someone else. And notice the analogy he uses. He uses the view that the Father and Son, S-O-N, are indivisible and inseparable from one another. The analogy he uses for that is the sun and its light. Now, here's the question. Does Justin affirm the sun and light analogy? No, he doesn't. He explicitly denies it and says further down in the passage, okay, He says here, as has also been amply demonstrated, and angel is not numbered as different in name only, like the light of the sun, but is indeed something numerically distinct. So Justin is denying the light and sun analogy, which is intertwined with what he said earlier about indivisible and inseparable. He says, no, they're not just like the light and the sun. They are numerically distinct. And what he means by that is he gives his own analogy, which he affirms. Justin affirms the two fires analogy. He does not affirm the sun and its light analogy. The sun and its light analogy is what is connected with indivisible and inseparable, not the two fires. So I'm going to ask you this question. Does Justin affirm the sun and light analogy, or does he affirm the two fires analogy?
He doesn't affirm the sun and light analogy, but he quite clearly makes it clear that he's holding to the fact that it is indivisible and inseparable when he speaks about the essence of the Father not being divided. He's just saying that based on the analogy, when they hold it, they speak about the tidings, the lights going down and the lights coming back up again, meaning that this itself can disappear and spring back up. That's the bit that he's disagreeing with, not the indivisible and inseparable part. So I still hold to it that that's something that Justin Martyr is holding to. I don't understand this point that you're making, and I think it's done here.
No, the point that I'm making is that the analogy of the sun and its light is interconnected with the Father and the Word being indivisible and inseparable from
was
one another.
that the only Jake, I'm gonna no, because you've been asking me questions. So here's a question for you, Jake. Jake, was the indivisible and inseparable the only argument that they gave for the light? Yes or no?
The only argument they gave for the light?
For the sun and the lights. Is that the only argument that they were given for the sun and the lights?
The question doesn't even make any sense.
So I'm going to ask you again.
There was no statement given, soldier.
So what is he refuting?
Who, Justin?
Yes, what's Justin Martyr refuting?
Modalism. He's refuting modalism.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you again. The indivisible and inseparable, is that the only example that was being given according to the statements that's being made? Yes or no? Or did he qualify it with extra examples?
Your question doesn't even make sense, honestly.
Okay, so if you don't get it, then that's fine. We move on. If you don't get the question, then we move on.
Your question doesn't make sense.
Banku, are you
now
there?
I'm gonna go back.
So you guys got about 1 minute. So if you want to clarify,
there's 1 minute left. So I'm gonna go back to the point that
that's what they do. They be saying the question doesn't make sense, just not to answer. But I answer all the questions that you bring, even though that they don't make sense. I don't get it.
My questions make sense. Yours don't.
No, it sounds like you're jumping.
Question properly.
It's okay. It sounds like you're running away from what was being asked.
Okay, let's do this.
If you allow me
to ask another question, you got 50 seconds.
No, I don't. I'm not even asking.
There's no question for him. You are only sent up here to ask questions. You're not supposed to make points. You are up here to ask questions.
Right, you were supposed to answer a question.
Yeah, that's it.
You guys were supposed to dialogue.
No. Darren said that there was going to be a 5-minute back and forth. That's
okay, which are questions.
Correct. I did say that.
No, I can make statements too. Isn't that correct, Darren?
You did, but the first 5 minutes, I think just kind of all the
You're breaking up. You're breaking up, though.
Yeah. Anyway,
so I gave you. Go ahead.
My point is, if you actually read Trinitarian Christian scholarship that interpret this passage of Justin Martyr, actual scholars, not Tiger, who doesn't own a book of Justin Martyr, never read Justin Martyr's text whatsoever, they actually explicitly say that Justin is not affirming Trinitarian doctrine in this passage. He's not affirming that the Father and Son are indivisible and inseparable. He is attributing that view to a particular group of Christians at the time, which he viewed as heretical modalists, who viewed the Father and Son as indivisible and inseparable, and he is refuting that view. He believes that there are two fires Father and Son, and they are separate and distinct, and that's why we can see them as separate and distinct.
No,
So you're saying
you're
that's what
such a
Justin Martyr
you're
teaches?
such a, he didn't know, but Doron, look, he just added his own assertion because I literally showed that
I
apart
didn't add
from
my own
the
assertion.
indivisible, excuse me, your time is done. I just showed him, right,
Yeah.
that apart from speaking of the indivisible, right, and inseparable, he literally makes the argument that the Son himself is distinct numerically, right? But when it comes to the essence, there's no division between him and the
Right, that's
Father's
what we read.
essence,
That's not
but he
what the
comes
text
directly
says.
from the
That's not what
essence.
the text
That's
says.
literally
That's
okay.
not
So I'm
what the
gonna
text
read it.
says.
No,
I'm
that's
gonna
literally
read
what
it
she
again.
read.
I'm gonna
That's
read it
not.
again.
That's not. Hold on a second.
I'm gonna read it. No, your time is up.
Wait,
Please,
hold on, Tiger. Let
let
me
me
just
read
clarify
it.
So
what he
let me
believes
just
about
make a
Justin Martyr.
final statement.
Hold on.
No, you
Once
already made the
she
final
gets to say the
statement.
final
How many
statement.
final statements are you
She
making?
gets
I
to
get
say
to
the
make my
final
Final
statement
statement
because
is
she
not
started.
about the text.
Jake,
It's
I'm not
done.
saying anything about that.
Jake. You started with the whole 5 minutes with nobody speaking. She is going to be the one to close.
Yeah, I'm
You
not talking
literally
about the
started the
topic,
conversation
dude. I'm not
with
talking about the
speaking and
topic.
reading for 5 minutes, and we let you do it. I didn't say nothing. I let
Yeah,
you
she
do
did
that.
the exact same thing, didn't she? When it
Okay,
was
but
her
what I'm
turn.
saying is you do not get to start it
I'm not
and then to
closing
close.
on the topic. I'm not making any statement about the text. I just
Okay,
want to
so
say two
your time is
sentences.
no. You already made a final
Yeah.
statement. So if you want to say
The
two
fu-
sentences, maybe when I'm done.
Okay,
Maybe
you just
when I'm
don't.
You
done,
can
You
say
don't
right?
want
well.
me.
She
You don't
said you
want
can
me
say a
to
few
say
sentences when
anything.
she's done. Is that
What's
okay?
that?
She said you could say a few sentences when she's done. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And my few sentences, I
When
promise,
I'm
will have nothing to do
done,
with it.
when I'm done, thank you. You
Okay,
can speak
Tiger.
about whatever. So,
Right. Okay.
but
Let's
it
do
is
that so we can move
proved,
on. Let's do that so we can move
thank
on, you
you.
guys.
But it is proved that there are angels who always exist and are never reduced to the form out of which they sprang. And that this power, which the prophetic word calls God, right? It's speaking about Jesus Christ himself here, as has been also amplified, demonstrates, and angel is not numbered as different in name only like the lights of the sun, but is indeed something numerically distinct. I have discussed briefly in what has gone before when I asserted that this power was begotten from the Father by his power and will, but not by abscission, as if the essence of the Father were divided, as all other things partitioned and divided are not the same after as before they were divided. And for the sake of example, I took the case of fires kindled from fire, which we see to be distinct from it, and yet that from which many can be kindled is by no means made less, but remains the same. So I don't understand what argument you think he's making here when he literally says that the
Okay.
fire that is kindled from fire remains the same. So the Son
Right.
also is not divided from the Father's essence. And people in the comment section, stop insulting me. I don't know why you Muslims keep on doing that. It's annoying because if I
Yeah.
flip
Stop.
out now,
Yes.
people are going to say I flipped out.
Well, they're
Right. So
insulting
let's
me
let him
too.
respond.
Not
We did say we were going to let him
Yeah,
respond.
then
So
let
Jake,
them,
it's
they
on
shouldn't
you.
insult you either. It's annoying.
But let's make your response quick so
Yeah.
we can actually move on to the next person. So appreciate
No,
it.
no, I have no response to what she said. I'm not responding what she said. We don't have enough time to keep going back and forth. All I
Right.
wanted to say is on another time, if she's willing or you're willing or anyone else, I'd be happy to discuss this on your panel and we can go through it in more detail because I don't think now is the appropriate time to go into further context, but I'd be happy
Sounds
to do
good.
so. That's all I wanted to say, but
No, sounds
okay.
good. Definitely. I appreciate that. Thank you, Jake. All right.
Jake,
So
Jake, the church father destroyer, man.
okay, sounds good. We'll see about that.
Could I ask Central a question?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah,
Q-Top was
go
next.
on.
Q-Top had the floor
I
next
got
to
you.
ask Central. Then we'll move it back to another Muslim, and then we'll go back to you, KB, and then we'll move it back to Cora or Omar, and then we'll just until everybody's done. We're gonna give everybody one round of this. So Jake's done. Now we're gonna go to Q-Top. He's gonna have his round, and then once it's over, this debate is done. I'm gonna close it down. So Q-Top, I'm gonna give you guys, and actually, I'm
Thank you.
gonna just to be fair, I'm gonna give you guys 10 minutes for a back and forth. So it's not a
Okay.
monologue, guys. It's literally just kind of going back and forth, and then we're gonna move
Thank
to the
you.
next person.
Thank
So
you.
go ahead, Q. It's on you, bud.
So, Central, just to make sure I'm understanding you, I took you down a line of questioning in which you ended by saying that, look, universals would be dependent upon particulars. Do you still affirm that?
Any philosophical questions, I'll divert to the brother Jake or Mark.
That's no problem. So by
Duran.
insofar
Okay,
as
wait. So okay.
Well,
Yeah.
don't laugh too. Cause I mean, just to be fair, I'm the same way, man. So we gotta look. I'm not a very philosophical person.
Okay. All right.
So let's
yeah, Omar, you want to answer that?
ask him more questions.
yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. So Omar, I asked Central earlier about the relationship between universals and particulars.
Yes.
He affirmed that universals depend upon particulars. Would you take that same stance?
Yeah, so for universals to have existence in reality, yeah, they would 100%. Because universals in of themselves, such as redness, blackness, blueness, for example, it's not going to exist in reality. It's just going to be conceptual. And it would only be a thing, so to say, once it's attributed to an actual particular. Yeah, so for example, my mercy, okay, this is something in reality as it pertains to me, but mercy in of itself is not something real, so to speak.
Okay, so yeah, there was kind of a divergence. Just want maybe short responses so we can kind of find some common
the
ground here.
discussion of
Just to make sure I'm
not a small
understanding you.
topic.
Are you saying that universals depend upon particulars?
In what way? What do you mean by depend? What sort of dependence?
Yeah. I mean that in order for a universal to exist, a particular must exist.
I mean, they exist independent of them conceptually, but what do you mean by exist? You mean in reality or conceptually? Again, you need to be specific because this topic is a very specific topic. You know,
concepts exist in reality?
Well, by definition, they're conceptual. So no, that doesn't make sense.
Concepts don't exist. Is the number one a concept?
Number one is a concept. Numbers in of themselves are concepts. That's correct.
Yeah. So does the number one exist? Does the number one exist in reality?
What do you mean by exist in reality?
Is the number one true? Is 2 + 2 truly 4?
Well, truth in of itself is a concept, so that doesn't really make sense.
So you just said concepts don't exist. So does truth not exist?
No, just whoa, 1 second. I never said they don't exist. I never said they don't. That's
just
a lie.
did say they don't exist.
I said they exist conceptually. That's a form of existence. Why are you being deceptive?
Oh, so conceptual things do exist? Because I asked you before, you said
yeah, they
things don't
exist conceptually. Yeah, that's
okay,
literally
perfect. So yeah, so if these conceptual things exist, right? So these, yeah, you can. So
Come on, bro.
Here's a nervous,
ask, like,
here's a nervous laughter, guys. Here it comes. So look.
You don't need to panic. Go ahead.
So look. If the universals are concepts and these universals exist, I would ask you: are there an infinite number of universals?
Are there an infinite number of universals? I'm not sure. I don't know.
You're not sure. Are there an infinite number of numbers?
Are there an infinite number of numbers? I'm not sure as well.
You're not sure if there's an infinite number of numbers?
Yeah, 100%.
Wait, you think there's the largest number?
I know. Again, I just told you I'm not sure.
Okay, no problem.
Is that an argument?
So that's a concession. Somebody clip that. Apparently in Islam, I'm still speaking. Apparently in Islam, there's a largest number. Okay, very interesting. So Omar, would you agree that there's a relational distinction between the knower and what is known?
Between the one who knows something and that which is known by that individual? What do you mean by distinction? What sort of distinction?
Yeah, a real distinction between the knower and what is known. So like for instance, if I say like I know a tree exists, as the knower is distinct from the tree as the particular.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So that knowledge which you possess is distinct from you as an individual who possesses that knowledge. Yeah, 100%.
Perfect. Does Allah know himself?
What do you mean by does Allah know himself?
Oh my gosh. You're acting clueless. You're acting clueless on words.
No, it's a very valid question because you're asking me a question which is a very vague question, which you have a compact term, which has your presuppositions.
You just affirmed that, bro. You literally.
Yeah, if you're gonna have a discussion, you're gonna have a discussion.
Oh my gosh, guys, he's panicking. He's literally panicking. This is so low tier. Look. I asked you.
Okay, host.
Look, I asked you: is there a relational distinction between the knower and what is known?
Yeah, and I asked you. You need to define the term.
You answered, and you said define the distinction. So in order for you to
define the term,
I'm still speaking, bro. Omar, why do you keep egregiously interrupting me?
Host,
Omar, you keep egregiously interrupting. This is just cope, right? This is really bad.
I'm happy to discuss with him, but let me at least finish my response. This is a bit ridiculous.
Go ahead, Omar. I want to make sure he's done before I reference.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So, host, I'm happy to discuss with him, but as I was saying, if he's going to ask a question, at least let me respond. You know, I'm really not interested in this childish back and forth. You know, if you want to do that with other individuals, go sit all day and just have a childish back and forth where you cut them off. You're asking questions. You said, are they relationally distinct? I asked you, what do you mean by that? Then you went and asked, you changed it from relationally distinct to really distinct. So I'm asking you, what do you mean by relationally distinct? You need to define the terms you're using. It's not upon me to define the terms, it's upon you since you're the one using these terms. This is basic. So again, ask your question and allow me to respond. If we're going to have to do times, we can do times, but don't be dishonest and deceptive, okay? Go ahead and ask your question and then mute and I'll respond.
So I'm using the formal definitions of all these terms here. So if you're not acquainted with the formal definitions, I'll go ahead and be your teacher and educate you. So when I say the term relational distinction, all relational distinctions are real, okay? So a real distinction just means a distinction in a type of existence or the way of existence, right? And so I'm asking you, I don't know why I'm being interrupted again. I don't know why I'm being interrupted again here. I just let you speak. Duran, can you please mute his mic? Omar, I know that the kitchen is hot, dude, but you have to stop interrupting me. So Omar, I'm gonna ask you the question again, okay? Is there a distinction in any sense now, because you want to play semantics, between the knower and what is known? Is there a distinction, yes or no?
I'm definitely going to answer. I just got a clarification.
Yes or no? Is there
just once you said a bunch of words, I need to respond in entirety. I'm not going to respond to one thing. And you said multiple points. I'm going to respond in totality, okay? Yeah, great. Thank you. So just a clarification, okay? You just said that you're since you're going to be a teacher, as you're saying, okay? Well, it must be the first time in your life you're in a position of teaching, okay? So here's the question, Mr. Teacher. You said that relation distinct, you're defining by what's academically understood as. So can you show me where relation distinct and really distinct are both used synonymously as you just used them, and their definitions according to academia? Please go ahead. Thank you.
Answer my question. I'm literally, Duran, why are you still over talking me? Why are you still over talking me?
Go back on mute. I'm going to answer. Why are you still over talking? I'm not done, host. I'm not done. Host.
This is, yeah.
I'm not done.
Yeah, Duran, please mute his mic now. Like they always do the same thing. They do the same thing. They do the same thing every single time. It's the same thing every single time, Duran.
He's literally muting me. He's not letting me finish. I mean, this is very deceptive.
Stop talking right quick, because Darren, you can't hear Darren.
Okay, deceptive. Sorry. Okay, Darren, can you finish what I was saying?
This is not going to be a conversation. I don't know what we're doing.
Okay, host, I'm trying to have a conversation. Host, I'm trying to have a conversation. I'm trying to engage with him, but he's interrupting. Look, again, he's a little child. He's interrupting.
He just got finished speaking.
He has no self-control. I'm not even finished. Listen, I'm finished. When did I say I'm finished? When did I say I was finished? No, host, be fair, host. Be fair. When did I say I was finished?
What do you guys need everything? So what we'll do, because this is a pretty deep conversation, and I don't think you guys are going to get through it. We have 2 minutes left, but what we can do is maybe at another time, if you guys would like to just have a sparring match back and forth, I can moderate it. Doesn't have to be a full debate if you don't want to. If you guys just want to talk, we can do it at another time, but you guys aren't going to get through it in 2 minutes.
Okay, host, can you hear me?
Let me ask you a question. Yeah, I can hear you.
But I'm not done with I'm not done responding. That's the thing. So I speak for 2 seconds and he interrupts me, but then he goes on to speak for like 20 seconds. This is not fair, host. And not only that, but he's muting me as well while he's speaking.
Okay, I got you, Omar. Q, if it's going to be a very deep question that's going to take some picking apart, he might do words. You're going to have to give him some time to respond and to break down.
He's literally playing a semantic.
Thank you, host. I appreciate that.
Duran. It's a yes or no. Duran, I'm asking him a yes or no question, and he literally stopped speaking. And so I went to speak, and now he's crying that I'm interrupting. He's been interrupting me this entire conversation, Duran.
But what I'm saying, Q, is it might take some time to unpack. You're asking very deep questions, my brother. I'm just being fair. It can't. If you're gonna ask very deep philosophical and metaphysical questions, you have to give them time to unpack it. That's all I'm saying. So I agree with you. Yeah. I don't think he's answering the question directly, and I think it's because he might need a second to unpack it.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. You definitely need to unpack these topics. Like, for example, host, because this individual obviously. Perhaps he knows, perhaps he doesn't know, right? From what I've seen his debate with Torah, he doesn't know much. So just to what I was saying, the reason I need to unpack it is because the questions he's asking is a loaded questions, right? So he uses words like knowledge, he uses words like distinction. You need to define these terms, right? So again, I'm going to ask him simply, guys, because we all heard in the live, we all heard him say, are they relatively distinct? Yeah? Or relationally distinct, right? And I asked him.
Can you repeat what he said?
Yeah. So he asked me initially his first question, which is, yeah, I am. So he asked me the relationally distinct, the one who knows compared to the knowledge which he knows, right? The knower and the knowledge which he knows. So that's his first question. I asked him, what do you mean by no? What do you mean by this type of distinction that you're referring to? Then he goes and says, really distinct. So he equivocates them as being synonymous, really distinct and relationally distinct. He says this is how it's defined academically. So here's a very simple question in order to move on with the discussion. Can you show me your source in which they're used synonymously and how the definitions to both the term really distinct and relationally distinct? What the distinction is and how they're defined academically. Give me the reference right now to continue the discussion. Thank you very much. That's a simple question. Go ahead. Finish what I was saying. Please give the reference.
Okay, because the last time you did that and I began to speak, you cut me off. So I'm going to go ahead and speak uninterrupted now. Okay. So Omar, you're asking me to educate you on what a relational and a real distinction is. I want you to Google these terms. Literally Google it. That's like asking me what an apple is, dude. Like, you shouldn't engage in these discourse if you don't even know the formal definitions of these words. A relational distinction is a type of real distinction that involves a relation between two things. So the Father and the Son are relationally distinct. Okay? They are really distinct in virtue of our perception, but they are conceptually distinct in virtue of their perception of each other. So this is very simple. A relational distinction is a type of real distinction. If you don't understand the terminology, I kept it extremely simple for you. In any distinct way at all, figure a real distinction, relational distinction, conceptual distinction, any distinction you want to invoke. Is it the case that the knower is distinct from what is known in any sense? Yes or no? I'm asking you a yes or no question now.
Okay, you finished?
Yes or no?
Are you finished? Yes or no?
Yes or no?
I want to respond, but you said 50
yes
things.
or
How about
no?
we do this? How about you answer? Hold on. Wait. Guys, wait.
Host, let
How
me
about
respond.
you answer the question and then clarify? Then you can expound.
Host, can I just
it is a
say
yes or no
something to you,
question.
Host?
Yeah, go ahead, Omar.
Host.
What are you doing?
Just 1 second. The reason, again, as you said previously, because you're a fair host, you yourself said the reason I need to go on is because there's something that needs to be unpacked. So when we're discussing the very topic is about that which needs to be unpacked and how he defines the term, then he goes on to finish his response by ending it with what question? Yes or no, do you accept this? But that very thing that you're questioning me on has not been unpacked yet. So you cannot just skip it and ask a question at the end and expect force me on that.
Omar,
No,
let me ask you a
because
question. Is it not a question that you can answer and then expound? Like, for example, if you say yes,
yeah.
but I'm going to say it like this, or no, and I'm going to say it like this. Can you do that?
I'll tell you why. No. I'll tell you why not. Because the terms that he's using are still yet to be cleared up and agreed upon. He's using terms such as really distinct and relationally distinct, and he's now making claims that a relational distinction is a form of real distinction, insofar as it shows the distinction between two real things. Now I'm going to press him on this, and then once we agree on a definition conclusively, we can move on with his argument on does God.
Okay, he wants to make sure that you guys agree on definition. Is that okay?
Duran, the reason why this is so low tier is because he's not engaging with the concept I'm presenting. He's just playing word games.
Yeah, but the concept is made up of words that we don't agree upon.
Bro, please stop interrupting me.
Yeah, let him speak.
Duran, Cora did the exact same thing, right? Look, instead of saying apple, I can say Iggy Api. It doesn't matter the actual token. It matters about the concept that is being presented. I am literally unpacking the concept. I don't care about the semantic here. I'm using the formal definitions, bro. You keep running from me. I've asked you the same question.
Okay, host, please. I'm
going to ask you the question again.
Still not being able to
stop interrupting. Omar, you can unpack it. But we want you to answer the question, though. That's the main thing.
Go ahead and ask the question.
They don't answer questions.
Right.
They literally don't. This is so cowardly.
Question. So go ahead, Q.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna move on, you guys. We gotta move on. Like I'm
no problem. Go ahead.
It's 3:00 on my side, and we gotta figure out what we're doing for dinner, man.
Okay, ask the question. Go ahead.
Okay. So not only did he admit that there's a largest number, which is really funny.
Right?
I'm asking you. Stop over talking me.
It's still my turn to speak.
Do you not have?
No.
Are you ridiculous?
Q's is gonna ask it, and then Omar, we're gonna give you an opportunity to actually answer the question.
So ask him to ask the question.
But you gotta allow him to do it. So if he needs to clarify, just to make sure that you understand what he's asking. Let him do that, but Q, can you please make it quick? Don't go on a long dialogue.
Bro, I'm asking him a simple question. Right. This is so simple. Is there a distinction in any sense between the knower and what is known? That's simple. Yes or no?
It's really simple. I can answer that. But yeah, go
That's a
ahead.
very simple. Now he simplified and he made it very clear.
That's what I've been asking you the whole time.
Go back on mute like a good little boy and let me respond.
No, hey, don't insult. Don't insult. Because that's
I
where
don't care.
that's where we go
He
off.
insulted me. He insulted me. What do
You
you
got
mean?
60 seconds. Okay, you got 60 seconds to respond to that.
Thank you. Perfect. Yeah, so now he rephrased the question because he was getting pressed on his previous statements. Yes, there is obviously a distinction in any way, shape, or form between the knower and the knowledge which the knower knows or possesses. Of course there is, but that's not what he initially asked. So since I answered your question, I'm going to put the question back to you right now, which you didn't answer in front of 1,100 people, which is this. You initially said that relationally distinct things are synonymous with really distinct things. So, and you said this is how it's academically defined. So I'm asking you right now in front of the live for the second and third time, give your reference in academia. This is your only chance, okay? Otherwise, you're being manhandled like a brand new bride, just like Cora did to you as well, okay? So I'm going to ask you a fourth time. Give your reference in academia, which you claim to know about and claim to be knowledgeable about. Give your reference for these definitions and how they're synonymous, okay? And that's the point one. And then the second part of that is going to be this. You changed it after saying that they're synonymous, relationally distinct, and really distinct. You changed, initially you said they're synonymous, and then you went to claim that relational distinction is a form of real distinction. And you posited the definition of relationally distinct as a distinction in reality between two things that exist. So I'm asking you, if that's how you define relationally distinct, then how is that any different to really distinct? And give the reference. We're all asking you now, 1,100 people, if you're a son of your father, give the academic reference to say that they're synonymous terms, and give the reference right now. Go ahead, boy.
Yeah, so this is just a whole bunch of cope here. So essentially what Omar wants me to do is he wants me to do his homework here. So let's actually get back on track. As I presented before, right, not only did you just like misquote me, right, because I made it very, very clear that a relational distinction is a type of real distinction. I said it's a type of real distinction. I said all relational distinctions are real distinctions, but a relational distinction is a type of real distinction. So if you could actually track linearly, right, maybe you could track better than your prophet. Right, maybe, just maybe.
No,
right?
no insults. Hey, Q-Top. No. Hey, that's Q-Top. Wait. Don't.
He tracked as good as.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Guys, relax. Just to be fair, he called him the son of the. You already know what. But
I didn't. Look. He's presupposing. He's presupposing that his prophet can't track.
Look, I don't need any of you guys' help to get this under control. I was already calling his name before he even said it. The next word he said. This is a academic conversation, Q. Please, let's keep it purely academic. Omar, you started it, so don't even try to act like the victim now. We know what you said. So let's dial it back.
I said if you are a son of your father, meaning if you're a man, then you'll answer the question. This is not an insult. I said if you're a son of your father. I never said
you're tracking like your prophet.
We know what that is, man.
Wait,
Ron.
I said he was tracking like his prophet, right? And so if he was actually tracking, that's not an insult. I didn't say. I said he was tracking like his prophet. You're tracking just like your prophet.
Yeah, he didn't say nothing crazy.
I didn't say anything crazy. I said you were tracking like your prophet. You presupposed that you weren't tracking, so you just cooked yourself. You just cooked yourself because you presupposed that you weren't tracking. Right? So now I'll go ahead and continue to speak. I'll go ahead and continue to speak.
Hold on, Q.
I'll go ahead and continue to speak.
Okay, you will, but you're gonna have to wait till I'm done. Let's dial it back, you guys. I'm talking about all of us. I'm not talking about just Q, because Omar, I caught a couple shots as well, and I didn't say nothing about it. So let's be academic now. Let's dial it back, every one of y'all, and let's just be purely academic. Let's not throw insults. And Omar, you did start it, so he's matching energy. Yeah, he didn't say nothing crazy. He just said you're not tracking. I mean, he didn't. He didn't call out his name or anything like. Hold on, bro. Wait.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
He didn't call the prophet out his name. I would have corrected. I would have stopped him even if he did. But I just want to make sure it doesn't get there. So that's why I'm stopping you, Q. I want to make sure that we keep it respectful. We have over 1,000 people watching right now. Let's keep it academic and let's not throw insults. And that goes for all of us. Can we do that, please?
Yeah, okay. Host, just to establish with you, host, I actually agree with what you're saying today. I think it's beneficial for the viewers as well to keep insults out. Host, can you just confirm in front of these same people that we spoke about that I did ask him multiple times to give the reference, correct? Can you at least be fair and acknowledge that?
You're asking him to do homework right now. You're asking him to go and do a whole bunch of research right now.
No. I'm asking him to
These are things he's learned along the way, but yeah, no, I hear.
Is it valid to ask someone to provide evidence for their claim? Right. Is that a valid question? Yeah, thank you. So go ahead, Q-Top, in front of the people for the 6th time. Give your reference now. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Now that he's shut his mouth. So look, I already said I'm not doing your homework for you, right? That's like asking me to just like go on my laptop and Google the definition. I'm laying in bed right now, dude. Like I don't care enough to get out of my bed for you. Right now, if you want to pull up right now in front of the people, right? Just Google what a relational distinction is and just read the definition, right? So you're asking me to do that. Do you have a computer in front of you?
Can you do that, Omar?
You're asking me to get up out of bed right now, right? Which I don't want to do for you because you're not worth my time. I want you to get a computer, Omar, and I want you to literally
He's not worth
what a
your time.
relational
Why are you
distinction
talking to him?
Google that.
Well, no,
Okay,
Omar,
host.
if he has time, he's
Okay,
asking
host,
Omar to do the research.
Let me just give an analogy. Okay, host, I get what you're saying, I understand. However, if I claim to you that one of your church fathers said 1, 2, 3, and you ask me for the reference, and I say to you, oh, I'm not doing your homework, would that be fair? No, that would be unfair for me to say. It would be ridiculous for me to say. Why? Because he's making the positive claim, the burden's upon him. I don't care if he's in bed. I'll put you to sleep in this debate, okay? You're going to sleep already, night. That's not the point. The fact of the matter is I'm asking you for a reference, and you're not giving it. So that means you're unprepared for the debate. So
Well, let me ask this then, Omar. Is the definition of relational distinction different between different groups of people, or is it the same?
No, that's not my issue. My issue
So
is
when
not
we
with
talk
that.
about church
I'll just-
fathers, the
yeah,
only
yeah.
reason we let me say this. The reason we bring up church fathers is because not all church fathers agree. A lot of church fathers, depending on what denomination, what doctrine, what creed, can differ depending on definition. They can differ in definition. But if he's asking you what a relational distinction is, if you're saying he doesn't have the proper, accurate definition of what a relational distinction is, then okay, he can go and figure out and do the research as to why this person is saying a relational distinction is this, and this person saying a relational distinction is that. But if it's the same thing, the same time for everybody, you can literally Google right now, what is a relational distinction? And it should be
No,
universal.
host, that's not my contention. Host, first of all, that's not my contention. I'll reiterate what my contention actually is. And second of all, it wouldn't matter whether it's about church fathers, whether it's about this, whether it's about anything, anyone who makes a positive claim. Anyone who makes a positive claim about a topic and they're challenged upon that for the evidence, it's a burden upon them to provide the evidence because they're making the positive claim. It doesn't matter what it's about.
You're telling him he's
If
wrong.
if I told you, just for example, even if I said something very simple, like it's the time in the USA, Michigan right now is 1, 2, 3. I give you the time. You ask me, what's your evidence for that? The evidence upon me to provide the evidence, no matter how small of a topic it is or how big of a topic, no matter how clear it may be and how obvious it may seemingly be, it doesn't matter. The
Hold on. This could be easily. This could be easily done. All you have to do, Omar, is provide evidence to the contrary. So if he says a statement, watch this.
Wait, no, that's ridiculous. What do you
No,
mean?
no.
Wait,
If he
wait,
makes
one
a
second,
statement, and the statement that he made, was in error, it's your job to show him that he was in error and why he was in error and how you can justify the claim that he made was in error. I don't have.
Okay, I got a
you're
question for you,
telling me
host.
every
Wait,
statement
using
I
that
make-
logic.
Wait, hold on. You're saying every statement that I make, I have to justify. Yes.
Of course, let me just prove that. Let me prove that. 1 second. Let me just prove that.
I
One
thought
second.
that's how
Host.
debating works.
Host,
That's
wait. If I said to you right now, no problem. Let's use that logic, guys. Everyone in the 1,100 people track, okay? Let me ask you this, host. If I came to you and I said, that Amen says that the entire Bible, in let's be specific, the entire Gospel of Mark, from chapter 1 to the very end, okay? Chapter 16 is a complete forgery. And you ask me for evidence, and I respond to you by saying, no, I don't have to bring evidence. You bring me evidence on the contrary. Does that sound reasonable to you, or does that sound idiocracy?
where he affirms.
What? The burden would
Wait,
be
so
upon
you're
me
saying
to prove
if
that.
Bart
What are you
Ehrman,
talking
if you can
about?
find a place, wait, watch this. You're saying, right? If I make a statement that Bart Ehrman says everything in the New Testament is false, correct?
That the burden's upon you to prove that, yeah. It's not upon me to prove the
Duran,
opposite.
remember
What do you mean?
during my debate with Tiger when I brought the Justin Martyr quote, right?
Duran.
I quoted the reference, but you made me put it on the screen.
Search father.
Umar's been
Wait, let me finish. Wait, the host needs to
Umar's been
answer.
speaking.
With all due
Umar's been
respect-
speaking for a while here. Duran.
No, me and the host have been speaking because you got put to the
Well,
side.
no, you guys are
Just 1
speaking and
second.
I'm interjecting, but go ahead.
No, but host, you interjected, so
Okay,
you made a
right,
point to
correct.
the audience.
Yeah,
So I'm just testing the
this is
consistency of your
okay.
point.
So not only is Omar running from my line of
Can you give the
questions,
reference,
which is
please,
really
Peter?
which is really obvious here, right? And
Yeah.
now he's over talking me because he's getting
Yeah,
scared.
of course.
again,
I want the
right?
reference. Go
So
ahead.
not only is Umar running from me, but it seems like he doesn't even understand etymology, right? He doesn't understand that there's like formal definitions and informal definitions. Now I claimed that the way that I was referring to a relational distinction is formal. Now if he disputes that, then just prove me wrong by showing the definition, But even if it were the case, this is what's so ironic here. Even if it were the case that the way that I'm referring to a relational distinction is informal, that wouldn't change the logic. That wouldn't change. All that is the token. That's like literally saying, look, I can say 2 + 2 = 4. Now, we use the token 4 to describe 1 more than 3. But instead of the token 4, if we just said oogigap, it's still conceptually representing 1 more than 3. So you're just playing semantics now. Now, let's actually get back on topic. You conceded that there is a distinction, and I asked you this multiple times, okay? I asked you this multiple times, and you said, finally, after like the 6th time, that there was a distinction between the knower and what is known. So let me ask you a question. Is there a distinction in Allah's knowledge? Meaning, in his being, does Allah possess any distinction at all?
His knowledge distinct, yeah, absolutely. So his knowledge that you are a moron is different to his knowledge that I'm cooking you right now. Yeah, they're two completely distinct knowledge. Yeah.
Duran. You see what he's doing?
Yeah, that's
like this
Omar,
is like, but then,
if we can't be academic, bro, we gotta have to keep.
But then, no. But then when I say that his prophet was cleaning up semen, look. But then when I say that, then it's an issue, though.
Right.
You can't have it both ways. Look, if we're gonna play low blows, let's play low blows,
my guy,
bro.
it's one thing. Okay, let me just say something real quick. We are not in the business. If you guys want to insult each other, you guys could do that somewhere else. You guys not gonna do that in here. You, Omar, or Q-Top, nobody. Look, if I don't do it, nobody should be doing it. If I don't sit here and take shots at y'all and start talking about y'all and saying all kind of crazy stuff about y'all, I'm talking to you, Omar. Don't do that, bro. Let's just keep it academic. You didn't have to do that because you knew you was gonna get a response, and the response that you're gonna get, you ain't gonna like, and then you're gonna cry to me.
I don't care. You can respond to me, and I can respond back to him.
No, but what I'm saying is, you started, but then you cry to me when he wants to finish it.
No, wait 1 second. There's a difference between me insulting him for what's apparent and me insulting his prophet or whatever. There's a complete difference, you know? If there's not a difference, then tell me, and I wouldn't have wasted that insult. I would have
insulted do it
something
either
else.
way. It should just be academic, bro.
I agree with you, but likewise, if we're saying academia, then it's also academic for this individual to provide the reference.
I defend you guys all day long on my panel, bro. I defend you all day long because I make sure nobody's disrespected, make sure y'all ain't disrespected, Muhammad ain't disrespected, Allah is not disrespected. I mean, we come with academics, so we say what we feel that the Bible supports. But as far as like saying things just to take shots, I don't let people do that.
And
So
Doran, I just want to say, according to the Quran says, don't insult the disbelievers because ignorantly they will insult Allah and the Prophet.
Wow.
So Q-Top is not doing anything differently from what the Quran says.
Wait, the Quran does not say that.
It doesn't. Okay.
Oh, the Quran says do not. Wait, hold on. The Quran says do not insult what they invoke besides Allah, so they're gods, not the people. But go ahead.
Do you take Q-Tip as a god?
So I'll go ahead and continue.
Wait, sorry.
Guys,
so-
it shouldn't be that hard for Q-Tap to bring us
all the meta aside,
Conversation. We got KD.
all the meta
that
aside.
still have yet to have something to say. So I'm gonna give you guys 3 minutes to finish up your dialogue, and then no matter where you are in this conversation, we're moving on.
Omar's been trying to stay alive this entire conversation by dodging, deflecting, and playing word games. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask him the same
3
question I
minutes.
just asked.
And no matter where you guys
Omar,
are in this conversation, we're moving on.
Omar. So you already conceded that there's a largest number, which is very funny, and now you've conceded that there actually is some type of distinction between the knower and what is known. So my question for you would be, if there is some type of distinction between the knower and what is known, is it the case that Allah knows himself perfectly? Yes or no?
What do you mean by knows himself perfectly? You need to clarify. Go ahead.
Okay. Knowledge is a true belief. Do you affirm that? Do you understand the way I'm using knowledge?
Is a true belief.
Yes.
Knowledge is a true belief. What do you mean by true belief? You need to clarify. It's a very clear question. Okay, host, can you explain that? Please go ahead and define it then, host.
No, he's good to define it. He asked the question.
Bro. Something is true if it corresponds to reality or if it is identical to reality, and a belief is just a proposition that you hold, some statement.
Regarding that which is, in the context of the question you just asked, it would only be in that respect that it's true, correct? That information which is held as a belief would be true, correct? It would correspond to reality, right?
Either it corresponds to reality or it is identical to reality. You would affirm that
Yeah, but
Allah
in order for it
is
to
Allah.
correspond to reality, it must be identical according to what you just said, correct?
Incorrect. Are you identical
That's what
to
you just
reality?
said.
I said
No.
something either. Are you tracking, bro? This is like
You
pathetic.
just
This is
said in
embarrassing.
order for something
I said
to be
something
true.
is
Just
either
ask the question.
identical to.
Re-clarify the question, Q. We only got a limited time. You got a minute and a half, bro. Just
Dude, all
clarify.
you keep
clarify
saying
the
is
question.
this. What do you mean? What do you mean? This is not going to get you out of this, bro. Like, I hope you know this is just you're just coping. I hope you understand, dude. It's 1.1 thousand, bro. There's 1.1 thousand people watching you cope right now, dude.
Yeah, it's
asking just keep asking. What do I mean? It's not going to get you out of this problem. Okay,
Well,
it's very
there's no problem
simple.
presented.
It's
You
very
haven't
simple.
presented a problem.
It's
You're just
very
asking
simple.
questions.
Oh my god.
All right,
You've not presented an argument.
You guys got about 70 seconds.
Okay, wait. Host, has he presented
Okay,
an argument?
I'm gonna
Yes or
go
no?
ahead and just end this. So obviously today, what we've seen is Omar continually run, dodge, and deflect from all my questions. What we see is him literally acting like he's stupid and acting like he doesn't understand what knowledge and truth is. We all understand what it means to know something, and we all understand what it means for something to be true, right? He just keeps playing this "what do you mean" game. So not only did I get Omar to concede today that there is a largest number, which means there's not an infinite
I'm
number,
waiting for a reference.
which now means that math becomes impossible. But then Omar wants me to literally educate him when he's the one disputing the way that I'm referencing the word, right? So if he wants to disprove me right now, he can literally just turn on Google or he can make a video showing how a relational distinction is not a type of real distinction. But he won't do that, guys, because he wants me to get up out my bed, right, and teach him and educate him, right? Because he doesn't actually understand the terminology, right? So Omar, I'm gonna be honest with you. This was pathetic today. Okay, I think you're a coward. And if you run from me again, look, I challenge you to a formal debate. So you can't do this running in the cross-examination. Will you formally debate me? Coward, will you formally debate me, yes or no?
100% I'll accept when you give me the reference for your claim.
Wait, formally, yeah. You're a coward.
So are
Give me a reference and I'll
I don't know, bro. Why does it have to come with
He's done.
prerequisites?
Duran, he is such a coward, bro. Duran,
Let's do this. I wanted you to press him, but okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We got to keep moving. Q, I love you, man. You know you're my guy. You're my partner. But I only have a limited amount of time left. Actually, I should have been dropped the chat already, but we still have people that have not yet had a chance to speak. So let's do this. Q, hit me up after this. We got a lot to talk about, bro.
All right, bro.
You be cooking for real, but we're gonna leave it alone. We're gonna leave it alone.
I'm so tired of people running from me, bro.
I know, bro. I know. I got you.
It's so bad.
We gotta keep it fair. We still have 1,000 people watching, so we're gonna talk on
Wait,
sides.
why did you guys drop Omar?
I'm gonna drop you down, and then we're gonna get to KB next. Then we're gonna get to Cora, and then Banku's there. Or I forgot Banku was up there too. Yeah.
Daran, why did you drop
it's a
Omar?
Muslim stream.
Q actually ended up dropping him down. I didn't drop him down.
It's 1 a.m.
Bring
I mean, it
Omar
was
back
time.
up.
Wait, hold on.
I was gonna drop both of them anyway. So it really doesn't matter.
But wait, Daran.
It's a Muslim's turn to ask a Christian. It's a Muslim's turn.
Wait,
to ask a Christian.
Let's get to a Muslim, you guys. It's only one.
Bring Omar back up, man.
Wait, bring Omar back up.
Bro, we ain't got time for that, bro. We ain't got time.
Come on, bro.
They wasted 20 minutes.
Daran.
Why are you guys talking over the mod? If the host drops someone, then he drops someone.
First of all,
Yeah, but it was three Muslim questions versus three Christian
but
questions.
it doesn't matter. We'll just not do three. That's like Q-Top has now been dropped. Q-Top was supposed to ask.
He's done his
That's
job.
fine. The thing is,
1-1, and we just dropped
the
one more
thing is,
person. And then
I want to be fair here, guys. Okay, so you guys are wanting me to bring him up for what? What is?
Because he didn't get to ask the Christians a question.
Exactly. He didn't get to ask the
right now is
Christian a
I'm trying to
question.
empty the panel so I can get going.
Bring somebody.
Yeah, but Daran, I brought Omar up because I'm busy and I'm letting Omar fill in.
Can he
for
ask?
me.
Let's
So notice I
have
haven't-
Omar ask a question.
There you go. Thank
I
you.
know. I'm sorry, Banku, but we do got to be fair. They were going back and forth for a very long time, so he has a very limited time because we got to keep going, y'all. Omar, welcome back to the panel, my brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And I do appreciate host, and I apologize for any sort of rude words I used or whatever. Thank you.
I appreciate you. I really do appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. KB, since I had a discussion with you the other day.
Hey, don't mute him, you guys. I don't know if somebody just muted him. Do not.
From a different brother who's not on this live. But anyways,
it's 1 a.m. in the UK.
wait a minute. Yeah, KB, I noticed you made some objections to Central the other day. Would you like to set up something a bit formal or informal on Darren's live? Perhaps regarding the Tawheed.
Once I've formally debated Central,
I'll see how that goes. And I've told you this the other day. Never debated formally. I'll see how the formal debate with Central
We
goes.
can have an informal discussion. It doesn't have to be formal.
Well, then,
I'll see how it
after
goes
the
with
debate,
Central,
Omar,
bro.
if you want to put on a spot, he has a debate plan. I mean, we don't want people to be forced to double up. Nobody should be forced. Like I have a debate coming up. I shouldn't be forced to double up on another commitment to another debate until that debate is over.
Yes.
If he has a debate,
Duran, here's the thing though.
yeah.
KB originally agreed to debate me on Muhammad in the Bible, and then he said he can't. He said he wants to do something about the Trinity, which is something I don't debate, like Tawheed and Trinity.
Right.
Like I don't get into that, but Amar does. So Amar can just take my spot in the debate.
Right. It's up
And
to
he
you.
wants
Yeah, I
to
mean,
This is
I'm more
KB's topic.
interested. Without due respect, I'd love to discuss.
So if he doesn't want to accept that and he wants to continue his debate with you, I mean, it's up to him. KB, what do you want to do? KB, can you hear us? Okay, maybe he's not
I
there.
said what I said. That's what
And just to clarify, host, the reason I said that, for me, I'm happy to discuss Tawheed with him. Trinity, philosophically, I don't really care because I don't believe there's any basis for it in reality anyways, like scripturally or any sort of justification. So in my belief, I believe it's scriptural, and I believe I can justify my belief as a Athari, as a Salafi, scripturally, you know? So that's why I'm more interested. I can defend Tawheed.
Q-Top asked you if you wanted to debate
No, but the
Tawheed.
different choice. And I told him, yeah, all he had to do is provide a reference. Such a simple thing from a teacher, right?
Why would there have to be a prerequisite for a formal debate with someone on
Yeah, I'll tell
Tawheed?
you why. Because he claimed to be a teacher, right? I want to see that he has the knowledge. Why should I accept that? Why is it only one way?
I mean, it's clear. So that I don't know. I've never given somebody a prerequisite for a formal debate. I've never told them to tell me this and then I'll debate you. That doesn't follow. I don't understand.
No, but why should I debate on his terms? I think that
It's just a great debate. There's no terms. It's just a question. Do you want to debate it? And then you can talk about the terms.
Yeah, but host, the thing is though, before I debate someone, and I don't know, you don't know me really because I haven't been online for a while.
Right.
I want to know that there is a person are honest, intellectually, etc., and so on and so forth. With Q-Top, what I noticed was the way he spoke and the way he presented himself as some sort of teacher and making claims he couldn't justify. To me, I have no interest in debating him, you know? However, KB, for example, who I find to be way more knowledgeable than him personally from what I've seen, he's fair. He seems more of a fair individual. I've discussed with him Tawheed, and he can even tell you we went philosophically about it. We spoke philosophically. We spoke about stuff specifically, you know? So I'm happy to
I'm
do
just gonna
that.
be honest, and the reason why I'm very kind of leery, right? And this is just me being honest, man. Everybody's running for Q-Top for some reason. Islamic Apex agreed to two debates. Listen, he's running. He agreed on 2 debates, one on Trinity, one on Tawheed. He agreed that if he pressed Q-Top on the Trinity, he would in turn return the favor and allow Q-Top to press him on Tawheed.
You want to know why Islamic Apex pulled out of that?
Well, no,
because after my debate with Q-Top, he went on a live and he started blaspheming. And as Muslims, we don't discuss with blasphemers. That's why he said no.
You guys do it all the time. You guys say 3 and 1.
Duran, can you bring up Muslim apologetic?
Shampoo? We do it all the time.
I don't do that personally. I don't do that.
All you Muslims do it.
No, I don't. What the hell?
It's
we
okay
don't
for you
do
guys
it.
to blaspheme and then us accept.
I don't think blasphemy on either side is good. No.
Yeah. We don't do it. To be
I don't honestly listen. I agree that nobody should be disrespecting any prophet. Look, people do it. Look, that's on their prerogative. They're not going to do it on my panel. Period. I don't accept it from Christians and I don't accept it from Muslims.
But the point is, listen, Islamic Apex is
do that somewhere else.
justified. Islamic Apex is justified in pulling out of that debate for respect of his religion and his prophet. Why would you? I have a question, Darren. Darren, would you discuss with somebody who insulted your family?
I would put them in a box and I'd cook them formally. I'll put them in a black bag with a long freaking zipper on it.
I would never.
Apex used to insult Logic, especially when Logic was
One
mad.
second. Logic is a blasphemer. Logic is a blasphemer.
I know he does.
Logic has been blaspheming since before Islamic Apex was born, bro. Logic has been blaspheming since before Apex was
Okay,
born.
watch this.
Sorry,
Cora,
I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead,
let me tell
Darren.
you something. Cora, let me tell you something.
Yo,
Where I'm from, we don't do stuff like that. You don't talk big noise. You make a commitment. You keep your word. He made a commitment that he was going to do 2 debates. He got his in and then runs.
Okay.
That's not running. He was 100% justified. Okay, we're discussing.
Can you bring up Muslim apologetic
absolutely
real quick?
nothing. It doesn't matter, dude. It
That
doesn't matter.
I know you're trying to defend him. Listen. I know
He
that's
was
your boy.
justified. He was justified, and we all
I know
agree
that's
with
your
this.
boy. I know that's your boy. And look, I don't care. He made a commitment to me that he was going to do. We were going to be fair. He was going to get a debate.
That's okay. Out of respect for his religion, he did not debate somebody who insulted his religion and his prophet.
Well, then why
Yo,
did he tell us
Darren,
that instead of disappearing off the face of the planet?
apologetic real quick.
Dude, he said it publicly on a live with over
didn't say it to
100
me.
people.
Christians all day.
I'm the
Just
one he
stop
made.
whining,
I'm the
bro.
one he made it.
Okay, let Sench talk. Let Sench talk.
I'm just asking. There you go. That's it. That's all I want. Is the brother TMA to come on.
So here's the thing: nobody's gonna be doing any blaspheming in here. Ain't no Christian gonna be blaspheming. No Muslim gonna be blaspheming. I'll cut you off right in the middle of it. That's the type of energy we on. He ran from the situation. He did not once hit me up and say, Duran, out of respect for my religion, I'm not gonna debate Q-Top. He never said nothing to me. He made a commitment to me that if I allowed him to debate on my platform, he would return the favor. He didn't return the favor. He disappeared off the face of the freaking planet. We were on a group chat. He sends us a video of someone running from him. So we're like, okay, bro, where you at? What's up?
Okay, we're discussing whatever.
You went freaking, you went ghost.
Whatever, dude. Whatever.
Wait,
Cora, I'm not saying it to be funny. I'm just telling you what happened.
Host, can I just say quickly a small point on this if possible?
Please.
For me, and Wallah al-Azim, Allah knows my intentions. I don't mean this as an insult. For me, when I look at Q-Top, I've seen him debate Cora. He's already been addressed, his arguments, so on and so forth. I don't see him as someone who's, and what I've heard from him from his old friends and this type of thing, I don't see him as someone stable, genuinely.
No, now we're not going to get into people's past, bro. He already told us.
I'm saying now, not the past, now.
Omar.
I'm saying now. From when I hear him speak, he does not sound, wallahi, I'm talking about now. When I see his debate with Cora, when I see it with Islamic Apex, he doesn't, his whole argument and as a debater, he seems to be someone who just throws a bunch of terms, who throws his words around, which is why I pressed him on giving definitions. Because the host, with all due respect, when he came up to speak with me, and Nick knows this, you can ask Nick as well. I don't know if you know Nick, but back in the day I used to discuss Tawheed with him, and no problem at all.
I'm on
the thing is with me, if he brings an argument, okay, if he's confident against Tawheed, he should not depend upon questions. He should not be asking vague terms. He should make his argument. He should say, premise 1, if you believe 1, 2, 3, then this so follows, okay? He should, if he has an argument that's truly disproving Tawheed, it shouldn't depend upon him asking questions. He should be able to just present the argument, and we have to deal with it.
That's what a formal debate is. That's why we get in the box formally, so that he can give his entire understanding and disposition of what he believes. And then we get into the question and answers to pin you and make sure that you're being honest about your answers.
Nobody could have done that in this discussion. If you have an argument that you're, for example, if I had an argument against Christianity, okay,
right,
I would present an argument like I've done in the past.
Right.
Maybe you don't. I haven't been here in a while, but back in the day, that's how you do it. That's just how I'm used to. You present. If you have an argument, you present it. You say, I would say, for example, church tradition is not reliable because it makes 1, 2, 3 claims which are against history. It's completely false because of 1, 2, 3. You have to respond to it. That's how I would do it. I wouldn't ask you all these terms, and that's just me personally.
No, I agree. And here's the thing, Omar. I understand that, and this is what we do, and this is why we're actually hosting series of debates now. We want people to be able to have the freedom to say what they believe, but to also be moderated. The problem with the debating community, I don't know if you've been in any other panels, is that it is a hostile environment. Meaning it's hard for Christians to go into a Muslim platform, not be dropped, kicked, laughed at, and blasphemed. And same thing for Christians. And honestly, Christians do the same thing, just to be honest.
Why do you think Muslims are coming to you? Why do you think Muslims are coming to you, though?
Relax, let me finish. I've been in Christian platforms, and this is just a shot on my Christian folks. I've been a Christian just spectating, not saying a word, just watching. And I watch Christians do the exact same thing. They literally bring Muslims up to insult, to blaspheme, to laugh at, and to kick them eventually. I don't agree with that. So hence why we're starting these series of debates where people can come together, Muslims and Christians can all participate without people blaspheming, without people dropping, without people kicking and being disingenuous. We want people to be able to come together academically, even though we don't agree in theology. It's like a boxing ring. People want to fight. But the problem is if you fight outside the ring, people fight unfairly. So what we're doing now is we're creating a space where Muslims and Christians can come together and to fight and be refereed. Meaning we tell you to be quiet, we tell you to be quiet. We tell you to stop blaspheming, we tell you to stop blaspheming. The whole point is to change the culture of debating. so we can come together in like the speaker's corner and say what we want to say.
Okay, but why do you think that the Muslims are coming to you? Because of that, you're getting the benefit. Like, Muslims acknowledge that, Wallahi, when I wanted to have a debate with the brother the individual Maverick on the Islamic dilemma, the first person Central told me was go to Darren, he's fair. So we understand and recognize that, but that's a separate, that's a separate thing, like about the apex thing. If he doesn't want to debate because of the fact that he blasphemed, he has every right to, and I didn't
respect him if he told me. If he's like, hey, guys, I'm not doing it. This is why I'm not doing it.
I respect that. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I respect
what you're saying. I
You
understand what
don't
you're
disappear.
saying. No, I understand what you're saying. I do get that point. But if we now clarify that was his intentions and his motive for not continuing the debate, maybe, he should have told you 100%. I think he should have. I personally would have.
He's friends, but I would love to hear it from him. I mean, it just.
Well, wait, hold on, Darren.
Go ahead,
I have a
Muslim.
question.
Muslim apologetic has
Sorry,
something.
go ahead.
Just quick comment, Darren. I spoke to you about this.
Yes, sir.
Just let it be known. Anybody who runs the Islamic dilemma, be it Nick SV, Dawah and I, anybody, I'm calling you out. Anybody, I want to challenge anybody to form a debate. Islamic dilemma versus Christian dilemma. If you're willing to take up the debate, let me know so I can formally set it up. That's what I have to say, man. So Nick is WB. Anybody.
What is the Christian dilemma? I don't know what you're referring to.
The New Testament confirms the Old Testament, but it contradicts it.
Oh, okay, that's what you think the Christian.
So basically, the same thesis as the Islamic dilemma, but flip back on
This
you
is a
guys.
new thing that you guys got running, or what?
We got a new dilemma coming, yeah.
I'm gonna have to study that one. I'm gonna
Anybody
have
that's
to
willing to
look
take up
that
the
one
challenge,
up.
be
Hey,
it
does this start
Avery, I
passing?
don't care who it is, bring it on. I'm ready.
Okay, bet.
MashaAllah. Wait, Nick. Just to add on to that, actually, Allah bless you.
I barely run Islamic dilemma, but I would.
The what tonight? Who wants him, man?
Hey, well, no,
Yeah,
I'm trust me,
Christian
Muslim.
dilemma. Yeah, I want it.
My guy, relax. We'll get somebody for you. Trust me.
Wait.
I need. I'm
Wait,
itching.
Nick says he wants it. Wait,
I'm itching
wait,
for
Nick
it.
says he wants it.
Yeah, I'll defend the Christian dilemma.
Nick SWV.
Yeah, you can go ahead right now. Give me your argument.
Sounds good. I already sent you a message, by the way. So
Yeah,
just get back
you
to
can
me.
give the argument here.
No, it's a formal discussion.
So we know how to
Wait, Nick,
I
you
want it in a
have to
formal
attack.
setting.
Wait, Nick, you also have to attack the Islamic dilemma. You cannot just have him attack. You have to attack as well.
Wait, so you don't think the Christian dilemma is actually a dilemma?
No,
One
but
second. Do you accept the challenge or not?
Well, I'm asking, are you saying that it has to entail the Islamic dilemma, or do you think the Christian dilemma itself is a dilemma?
The Christian dilemma is a dilemma. Yeah.
Is a dilemma.
Yeah,
right?
so I'm saying I can defend that. You can give me the
So
argument.
do you accept the formal debate or not?
Well, no, I'm saying we can just talk about it now.
No, I want it in a formal setting. That's the whole point.
Why do you need it in a
Time
formal
now.
setting?
Nick, I'll be honest.
I'll tell you why I want.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on.
Close
This
the
is a
live,
Q&A,
actually.
dude.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you why I want
we
it.
don't have time. We can do it in another live as well right now.
Wait, Nick, do you want it in a formal setting or not?
No, I'm saying we can do it now in another
But we
live.
don't want it in a formal setting. Darren, I want someone who wants it in a formal setting. I don't care about Nick anymore. I want it in a formal
Nobody ever wants to do it now, bro.
Wait, Nick.
gotta
Dude,
formal
this is a
setting.
debate
That's what I
Q&A,
want.
fam. Like, we have things to do, bro.
Exactly. This guy thinks I'm gonna run a whole debate with him. No.
Wait,
formally.
Orthodox. Did you hear what Nick said? He said that he would only debate the Christian dilemma, not the Islam dilemma. So he wouldn't defend his
Are
argument.
you open to just doing the Christian dilemma?
No, Islamic versus Christian dilemma. I want to put an end to it once and for all.
You gonna put an end to both.
No, yeah, but formally.
tough?
Give me someone formally, Darren. That's
Muslim,
what I
are
want.
you that tough?
Yes.
All right,
Bring
man.
it.
We'll find out. Okay, now let's plan it. You sent me a message, right, on the side?
I already sent. I sent better. Once again, better image. Avery. Who do you have? King Silv. Nick. Any of these guys, bring it on. I want someone ASAP.
I
Quickly.
like this guy, man. But okay,
Let's
I'll
bring
find
it, man.
somebody for. Don't worry about that. We'll find somebody for you.
Let's do it.
But you make sure you enter when you send me a message. Make sure you give me the entire argument, so that I can pass that on. Because I don't think anybody knows what the Christian dilemma is.
Sounds good. It's very simple. The New Testament confirms the Old Testament and contradicts it. Same as the Islamic dilemma. Same concept.
Okay,
All right.
that's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm excited about that one. We'll see about that.
Thanks for having me. I'm
Sounds
gonna
good.
drop.
All right, guys. Banku, did you want to say anything before I close this live down, man? Because I know we way past this.
I just want to give you your props for. Oh, I thought he said.
I ain't gonna, bro. I'm
So go ahead, Nick. You're gonna go after her, Nick. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead,
I know. I said my
Sorry,
bad.
go ahead,
I didn't know if you said my name or I didn't.
Yeah, no worries.
Wait, hold on, Duran. Just to clarify,
I
we're
said
still
your
doing
name.
the
I said your
debate Q&A, correct? We're still doing the debate Q&A, right?
Wait, say that again.
Because Banku wanted to ask Central, and I came up to question Tiger. Is that still okay?
I gotta close this live, dude. I'm already past. I'm at 33.
We could do like
I'm
10 minutes.
past
10
my
minutes.
time, man.
No, that
5
man,
minutes
that
for
man
Banku,
got
5 minutes
close.
for me. Let me
Lord,
just
that
come
man
on,
got
man.
Oh,
close.
I'm sorry. I gotta run to the
I'm
store
cool.
before we start cooking.
This what
I'm cool
happened
with
when
Cora
y'all talk
speaking
a
on my
lot and
behalf.
I love
complain
y'all.
a
Hey, I
lot
love
instead
y'all,
of just
Cora.
getting it
Hey,
done.
Cora, you welcome here anytime, dude. You already know you welcome anytime.
Hey, man, I came up to question Tiger, man. What
I
you
know
mean?
you did. But you guys can, hey, if somebody can
Question Tiger, man. What
I
you
know
mean?
you did. But you guys can, hey, if somebody can jump
Hey,
on.
bro, listen, 5 minutes, bro. 5
I
minutes.
mean, they'll have the question on
All
another
right,
episode
do
at
this.
9
I'm gonna give
a.m.
you
I'm
guys,
going to
check this
bed.
out. I'm gonna give you
Man,
guys,
Darren's been live for 6 hours, bro. It's crazy.
dude,
Nah, Darren.
my
Hey,
guy.
stand by your word, Darren. You say you got in the
I gotta
live.
go,
In
man.
your
I ain't
live.
gonna lie. Nick, did you want to say something
Keep
real
your
quick?
word.
Real quick, I know you tried to jump in.
Nah, I just wanted to come up, man, give you your props for being live for 6 hours. I'm on YouTube right now. We're just kind of watching a little bit of the end of the comment, a little bit of the end of the discussion, and was kind of commentating on it. So,
Man,
give you your
love.
flowers, man.
That's love, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, W live, bro. I'm gonna go ahead.
One of the goats over here, man. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate you, my
Nick,
brother.
Nick, did you watch the whole thing? Are you posting
No,
on YouTube?
I unfortunately no. I was live for some of it, so I didn't have a chance to.
Wait, did you see the ending of this one though?
Yeah, the ending of Q-Top and Omar. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Okay.
For your
Yo,
recording.
Duran.
Yo,
But I'll be
talk to me
watching
about
it back because I'm gonna get the live after, so I'm gonna watch it back.
I was gonna say, yeah, where could I get the full debate? Like, where could I
You
get
know
it?
what? I'm gonna have to maybe Google Drive it to you. Remember last time? Because I tried to send it to you last time and you said you couldn't get it.
No. So you had to add me as an editor.
This one to
I
me
have
as
to
well.
add you as an editor on Google Drive.
Yeah. So when you send it to me, you send it. You add me as a editor. That way I can open it and like drag it to my computer.
Yeah, formal debates, I have no problem doing that. You know, usually people be asking me to send them to live just on a regular basis. I'm like, man, I ain't got time for that. But because it's a formal debate, all the formal debaters will get the live. And I'm gonna post. Actually, I'm gonna post it on YouTube too. So you got it, man. You good?
Okay,
Can I say?
if it's on
Can I say
YouTube,
my
I
goodbyes?
watch.
Say it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it on YouTube, Tiger. Don't worry.
I got you.
No, I'm not on your channel. I'm watching it from Doron's. What do you mean?
No
So you can
problem.
come
Can I
and
say?
do what
Can
you
I?
did the whole time. Yeah, no.
Duran, can I just get like 30 seconds to say my salams
30
and then I can
seconds.
hand
Go
it
ahead,
off
30
to Cora?
seconds. Sorry, Cora and everybody else. I'm gonna close the live after these two have to say what they gotta say.
Appreciate it.
I gotta
First
go.
and
I love y'all.
foremost,
I love y'all.
That's fine, bro. We're migrating to my live after this. Don't
Okay,
worry,
sounds
bro.
good, Cora. Thank you. I appreciate you
All
coming up, by
900,
the
we're
way.
going
Thank
live.
you.
I appreciate
Yeah.
you.
So first and foremost, to the Muslim, thank you, Barakallah Fiqh, for being here, watching the debate, for supporting. Thank you for the gifts as well. But don't gift on TikTok. GoFundMe link in the bio. Again, the Christian claim that of Jesus being God falls flat on its
Boy,
face.
get out of here. You
Alhamdulillah.
say you're
Wait, let
giving
him
your
finish.
Come
No,
on,
you're gonna
bro.
your
finish,
claim
Tiger.
Come
back.
on, bro.
Tiger, you're gonna finish. Let him
Come on,
finish. Let him get it out. We're gonna give you the closing remarks. Let him finish it
Like
up.
she could do this. She could do
Go
it
ahead,
too,
go
man.
ahead, go ahead.
Alhamdulillah.
Let
Yeah.
finish.
So the Christian claim of Jesus being God falls flat on its face. Alhamdulillah. We defended the claim and the blasphemy brought against our beloved Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. Guys, make sure to follow me. Make sure you follow the sister Cora. Make sure you follow the host, as he is a very fair host, and he does allow us to come on his platform, and he does give us time and fair opportunity for Christians and Muslims to debate. Follow the sister Cora. Follow all the Muslims that came onto this panel. Again, thank you for the support. I love you guys, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Tiger, you got cooked. Duran, appreciate you, G.
Much love, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Much love, you guys. Go. All right, Tiger, it's on you, man. Hey, you gonna wrap us up, man?
Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Guys, as you guys see, the things that Muslims love doing is Muslims like to sit there and they like to believe their delusions that they won debates because they deflect and they also lie about most of the sources that they brought. So we saw a so-called win based on lying and deflecting. That's not what we're holding to. The conversation was very, very clear. And one beautiful thing about me, for the people who are insulting me in the comment section, I was created by your so-called Allah. So if you insult me, you're insulting the God who created me. Thank you. Anyway, so like I said, right, we saw every single thing that was spoken about it, right? He affirmed, he actually conceded several times in his opening debate that Jesus is God. Regardless of whether he sees it as God in a sense or not, he conceded. And then when I asked him the question based on it, he tried to change it and say, no, he didn't, but then ended up affirming it. So yes, according to him, he affirmed Jesus is God. So we win the debate. Any other thing that has to be said, I could care less. The beauty about it is when I stand before God, whether insulted or not insulted, you're insulting me because I'm speaking about Jesus Christ. And when Jesus Christ comes back, all the insults that you give to the people who are defending Jesus Christ, he's going to hold it at you. So continue insulting me. More mansions in heaven being
That's love.
created because of your insults. Amen.
That's tough. Hey, that's a dub. That's
Yeah,
a dub.
W goes to Christ.
Dub in the chat.
Not me.
For Christian,
Not me.
man.
W goes to Christ. W for Christ.
Amen.
Thank you.
Come on. All right, family.
Amen.
Hey, thank you so much, Tiger. Thank you for doing that, man. You really be holding it down for real. Appreciate you. That's a dub, guys. All right, y'all. Hey, chat, you know the drill, man. I'll catch y'all live in the morning. You know what it is. Big ups to you. Banku, big ups to you. Everybody in the chat, make sure y'all follow us, man. We're going to have a series of debates every single day in December, pretty much. So if you guys would definitely want to get locked in for that, man, make sure you follow your boy. Make sure you hit that bell so you know when we go live. Christians is cooking.